Okay. Let's see if this works. Can you hear me, folks? Can everyone hear me? Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Brilliant. Okay, well, apparently, in fact, I'll show you the fucking screen. I don't give a shit. Let's go desktop monitor. Let's go browser. Let's find the right browser. YouTube? Is that the one? There we go. Right. Let's do that. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but this is from the 27th of November. I made an appeal because I had one of my videos deleted. Pedo walks from Liverpool Crown Court because of, I'm not entirely sure what that says. I'd have to go through my other drive, my other hard drive to find that video. But they've told me it's harassment or cyberbullying because a paedophile, because some fucking bloke has fiddled with a fucking kid and they attack me. They fucking penalise me because some cunt has fiddled with a kid or attempted to fiddle with a kid, and they've done me for fucking harassment. I'm sorry about the swearing, but fuck you, YouTube. Fuck you. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry for that outburst, but fuck YouTube for that. They tell me I cannot fucking call somebody a pedo when they've been fucking done for paedophilia, although they're allowed to walk from court. Doesn't mean they've not been fucking charged. Lots of fucking paedophiles get suspended sentences and allowed to walk from court, but they're still charged. They're still found guilty as paedophiles. So fuck you, YouTube. I'm sorry. That really pissed me off. Sorry, folks. Fuck's sake. Jesus fucking Christ. I apologise for that. It just fucking booted me for some reason. It's been playing up all night, innit? Do you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, it just got to the point where it was like, no, fuck you. You've said enough. Get off. And it fucking booted me. So, my apologies to you all. I'll open the phone lines again in a minute. I'm still drinking, so although I'm aching, I can push through it. I've got about another 2 drinks worth there. So there we go. That sickens me, that does. The fact that they've fucking done me. They're fucking doing me for harassment and cyberbullying because some cunt has been accused and found guilty of being a paedophile. Just because he's been allowed to walk from court does not mean a cunt is not a paedophile. I'm sorry. Sorry. Forgive me. Forgive me for being so blunt, shall we say. Fucking wankers. Jesus. The problem is, I'm no way going to get near as many people as was watching the first time. That's the fucking issue. They boot you off because they know people go, oh, fuck this. Fuck it. We'll go and fucking do something else now. But, fucking tosspots. Guess what, YouTube? You're a bunch of fucking wankers. Suck my fucking plums, you cunt. Excuse me. Not to you guys watching, well, 99.99% of you guys watching, but the 0.00001% that's watching that works for YouTube, fuck you and your mother. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, fucking hell. You watch, I'll get throttled again in a minute. Bastion. Go for it. Lines are open, I think. Hang on a minute. Yeah, lines are open. 01515 28 95 90. Here we go. Let's see how long it takes before YouTube boot me again. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Dan. It's Mike from Bastion. How you doing?
How are you, Mike?
Oh, God, look, I feel your pain, mate. I really do. YouTube, it's just getting ridiculous.
Long time no speak, by the way.
And you, mate, and it's great to see you back as well. How you doing?
Thank you. I'm fucking knackered, but do you know what? The alcohol's helping.
Well, my brother, he died of transverse myelitis, and
Right.
he was given 2 years to live. This is back in 2005. And he was put on all this medication. He was put on steroids as well, which made him blow up like a balloon. He ended up bigger than me. And I was living in Cyprus then, and he come out and moved out there to see his last 2 years out with him. So I spent the last 2 years with him.
Right.
And he swore blind with his ailment. He said the only thing, because the thing is he didn't have no sensation from the waist down.
Okay.
You could stab him, you could walk, you could stab his leg and he wouldn't feel it.
Do you know what? I don't mean to make light of the situation, but since the stroke, even with Viagra, I still don't have sensation from the waist downwards.
Really?
Sorry, I don't mean to make light of the situation, but fucking, we've got to have a laugh, haven't we? Do you know what I mean? I'm sorry.
No, he'd laugh. Look, listen, Dan, if he was listening now, he'd be laughing his bollocks off, right? But he, out of all the doctors that he went to see, the specialists and stuff like that, when he come out to move to Cyprus, he said, Mike, he said, look, all the shit that I'm on, all the drugs that he has to take on a daily basis, he said, do you know the only thing that works? I went, what's that? He said, Jack Daniels. Yeah. And that was his medicine for the last 2 years, because the doctor actually said to him, he said, well, look, he said, if that's sorting out the burning sensation, like I say, he's got no sensation from waist down, but he had the continuous burning, like his legs were on fire.
Okay.
The only thing that eased it was Jack Daniels. And I thought, well, fair enough, fair do. So he was a firm believer that, just medicinally, the odd bit of booze now and again helped him out. But yeah, it's well, it's good to see you
it's
back.
A different situation, but I mean, I'm aching. My left side is really aching to the point where it hurts. But this is helping. I mean, normally I'd be yawning my head off by now. It's been a while since I've had a drink.
That's picked you up.
It's been a while since I've had a drink.
Well, it's Christmas as well.
Christmas
as well, mate, and some things are medicinal. What?
I've got that much left.
Oh, wow.
And do you know what? Although I'm tired, I don't feel as tired as I usually am. And the thing is, I don't want to rely on that shit to get me through the day. That's the last thing I want to do. But every now and again, I don't see an issue. Do you know what I mean? This is once in a now and again situation. I'm having a drink. Fuck it. Do you know what I mean? Normally I drink coffee. I have about 30 coffees a day. I stopped drinking coffee about 7 o'clock and started on this stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, mate.
I feel more awake now than I normally do drinking coffee.
Really? Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, I was a big coffee drinker. I mean, there used to be a vending machine at work, and I'd fucking crucify it. But the thing is, at the end of the day, it does have detrimental effect on you. I know a certain amount of coffee does you good in the morning, and it sort of perks you up. But if you're drinking it all day, it is quite dangerous stuff, because obviously.
Mate, honestly, I drink about 30 cups a day, or 30 mugs a day of coffee. It's decaf.
Oh, that's worse than me.
It is decaf, but it's still fucking. Right. It still does me fucking in. Do you know what I mean? But I whether the sleep disorder that I have, whether that's to do with the drinking coffee or not, I don't know. Now, I've drunk decaf for about a year and a half. Won't touch caffeinated stuff. I drink decaf all the time. But I've always had an issue with sleeping. More so now, I sleep, I wake up in the night and my arms hurt. I think this is to do with the stroke. I wake up in the
Oh, it's
middle of
got
the
to be,
night,
yeah.
and
Is it just down one side?
both
you were
arms,
affected?
both arms. Well,
Really?
I had a right basal ganglia infarction, is what they call it. You can look it up on Google. It's a basal ganglia infarction, which is the right side. It's affected my left side, but my right side, my right arm, not my right leg, but my right arm, for some reason, I've doctor calls it tennis elbow, but it's not. Even the what do you call it? Physiotherapist said it doesn't sound like tennis elbow to me. But I've got issues with my right arm. But I wake up in the night and it feels, and the morning, and it feels like I've tensed my arms all fucking night. You know, when you go to the gym and you haven't been for ages, and you ache like fuck the day after.
I've been in the gym for years, mate, so I wouldn't know. I know what you mean, though, yeah.
But that's what I feel like in the morning. I feel like I've been to the gym and done 24 hours in the gym, and I wake up in the night or wake up in the morning and my fucking arms hurt like fuck, both of them. They feel like I've tensed all night long. And I wake up and they ache and I'm in pain.
Have you tried taking magnesium tablets?
No, I've got vitamin B, but I don't take anything
magnesium.
else. I have to take 12 tablets a day. As it is, I take 12 tablets a day, and I've got to take them for the rest of my life. Because of the stroke. You know, people moan. You know, people are in the comments now saying, "Oh, you shouldn't be smoking, you shouldn't be drinking." But you know what? It helps me. It does. The smoking chills me out. Okay. I understand that it's bad for my health, but it chills me out. The drinking. Now, I don't often drink, Mike. I really don't. As you've seen on here, you know.
Well, I've seen in the past, mate. You've even said that you don't. You're not much of a drinker. So
you know, I was doing videos every day. I wasn't drinking. I was doing my live stream on a weekend. I wasn't drinking. Very rarely did I drink. But when I do, like tonight, I'm having a drink because it's a once in a now and again situation. I'm having a drink tonight. I've drunk quite a bit, but you know what? It dampens.
Chilled you down, yeah. I saw it in brother, mate.
The pain and the aching, and I can manage.
Yeah.
You know, if I hadn't had a drink, I'd probably have cut this off by now. This live stream.
Yeah.
You know?
Pace Welshman's about zinc as well. I've heard that's good.
Yeah.
He's saying zinc 40 milligrams. I mean, this stuff won't affect, won't have any side effects with the stuff that you're taking, the medication that you're taking. It's sort of natural sort of remedies, as it were. But magnesium and I'm not sure about zinc. I'm not a doctor, mate, so I'm probably the last person you should be taking advice from. But I know magnesium, personally, myself, has changed. I mean, because like I say, I was a big coffee drinker. I do like a drink. But magnesium is because I was, getting to a point that I was tired all the time, and the coffee in the end wasn't the solution. If anything, it was having an adverse effect because I was drinking so much of it.
Yeah.
But someone said, "Oh, take the magnesium," and after about 3 or 4 weeks, I did notice a difference. My sleep was better. I think it does a lot for your blood flow, which is important if you've had strokes. Because the sort of cause of strokes is.
I've just had. Sorry to cut you off there, Mike. I've just had, although I've had this delivered today. I ordered this from fucking YouTube because going up to shop is a fucking pain in the arse. And I've ordered some stuff to spray on my pillow, which is supposed to help me sleep as well. I've ordered that from YouTube as well. I've tried everything. I've tried.
Was it like a lavender spray or
that's
something?
it. Yeah. Melatonin.
Oh, it's lavender. Oh, nice.
I've tried melatonin tablets. I've tried that, and that doesn't help. Now, your body's supposed to produce melatonin the later in the day it gets. Your body produces melatonin, and it makes you tired, and it helps you sleep.
You're tired, yeah.
It doesn't fucking work for me. All right, so I've tried fucking all sorts of stuff. I've tried. The doctor gave me melatonin for a few weeks. I tried that. I've tried Zopiclone, for fuck's sake. Right, Zopiclone put my body to sleep, but my brain wouldn't have none of it. Right,
I've heard this.
I was living in a different place at the time. I was living in a house at the time, I had a house. This is when I got arrested for growing weed. And again, I don't mind mentioning that because we're all fucking human. We all make mistakes, you know.
Yeah.
I took the Zopiclone, and I was asleep. Not asleep. I was on the sofa. My body gave out. My body wouldn't move. Okay, no matter what I did, my body would not have none of it. But my brain was still fucking 100 miles an hour. And it was the worst feeling I've ever had in my life. The horriblest feeling I've ever had in my life.
You want to sleep and it won't let you sleep. Yeah.
Imagine you've seen films. I would imagine that most people have seen films where people have had night terrors.
Yeah.
Where you wake up, you can't move, you're paralysed, and you see shit. Right? That is what Zopiclone did to me. It was one of the most horriblest things I've ever taken in my life. Now, it was a 2.5 milligram, okay, which is the maximum normally they give you, 2.5 milligram of Zopiclone. I was told to take 1.5 tablets. So, 5 milligram. So it was a 5 milligram tablet normally. They told me to take 1.5 tablets for a few days, which is 7.5 milligrams. And that should be enough to put a fucking elephant down. Not quite, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean. It should be enough to put nearly 99% of people out for the count, but it didn't. It stopped my body from functioning, but I was still awake, and I couldn't move. And that made things worse. Knowing that I was awake and I couldn't move, being imagine waking up and being paralysed. Imagine what your arse would do.
It's like that. It's like that scene out of Clockwork Orange where the guy's strapped to the seat and they've got them things on his eyes to keep his eyes open whilst they do shit to him, isn't it? You've got no control over it. It's like you're fucked, you're incapacitated, but you can see everything and your head's still going. That's head fuck with it all. It's
sorry,
terrible.
Mike. Just one second, Mike. DJ Sonic. It's just Skype. I have an Android phone rather than an iPhone, so I can't do FaceTime. But if you call the number, I'll try and answer as many calls as I can. I'm gonna, and try and get to you. But if you call the number normally, it should come through to my Skype, and I should be able to answer it and speak to you. So I apologise, but no FaceTime. But Mike, it's fucking horrible, mate. It really is. It's as I say, it's like waking up and being paralysed. Imagine that. Imagine waking up. You're normal when you go to sleep. You wake up and you're paralysed. You would shit your pants, and that's what it's like for me.
Yeah, I used to get night terrors as a child, and I can vividly remember. I'd had some really bad nightmares, and I'm awake. It had waked me up, but I was like, you like frozen.
Yeah.
And they sort of stuck in me for, I can imagine what that's like. I had some real bad nightmares. But yeah, going on to the YouTube thing, mate. I had a strike last month, right?
Yeah.
And when I looked and I thought, oh, well, I'll probably upset some fucking snowflake somewhere. And then I looked at it, and it was a video back from 2016. Now, just like you, it was a story about a judge that had let off lightly a paedophile.
Yeah.
And then I went into the background of this judge. He seems to, I forget the judge's name. But anyway, I got a strike last month, and that video I put out was in 2016, right? So, like 5 years ago. It's like, well, hold up a minute. Why has it taken all this time to put a strike on that video now? So you struck my channel. I couldn't do nothing for a week. I'm on my last chance again now. I'm on the naughty step. And we've moved over to Twitch.
Yeah.
And we just use YouTube. To be honest, I couldn't give a shit about YouTube now. If it goes off, it goes off. But as the backup, we got Twitch, and people are slowly moving over to it. But I think they're just looking for any reason now to get you off. If you're going against a narrative, if you're going against, certainly if you start talking about the lurgy.
Yeah.
Because I've got done at the beginning of the year for bad medical advice, and during that show we looked back at it, didn't give any medical advice at all, but it's simply that we were questioning the WHO, the WEF and all that.
Yeah.
But now it's just getting worse.
Well, to be honest, Mike, I've just opened I've just opened my YouTube page here, right? It says, warning, your content was removed due to a violation of our community guidelines. Because it was the first time, your account isn't affected. You're only warned once, and this warning will remain on your channel. So rather than most warnings that are there for, 6 months or so, whatever it might be, this one apparently will stay on my channel forever. It says, if it happens again, you'll receive a community guidelines strike and you won't be able to upload, post or live stream for 1 week. Now, they've already cut me off tonight. Okay, there's no reason for them I'll see it. I'll come in on the end of it. I'll see what happens. There's no reason for my signal to drop out like it did. Absolutely none at all. I mean, it's been fine now for the last, how long have I been on? Fucking
15 minutes,
20 minutes or so.
20 minutes.
25 minutes.
Yeah, like that.
No issue at all. But it fucked me. It says, the content is a video entitled "Pedo Walks Free from Liverpool Crown Court because of," and I can't remember what the last of it is without looking at the backup. The policy is under harassment and cyberbullying. Now, this is somebody, Mike. This is somebody who was found guilty of being a paedophile, but he was given a suspended sentence. So he was guilty, but I'm harassing and cyberbullying somebody.
Cyberbullying, that just makes me laugh, that term. I mean, just simply discussing it. I mean, like I say, that video from 2016 sounds like a very similar situation, and it just gives you the impression that YouTube, are they going out intentionally protecting pedos? I don't know. That's a bit of speculation there, but it does seem that way, because I know you're not the only channel, I'm not the only channel that's had this thing. They do seem to be very sensitive when it comes to, if you're calling pedos out, they'll put it down to cyberbullying when all you're doing is reporting the facts.
Yeah, you've got half a dozen fucking news outlets that are giving the name of the person, but yet because I'm saying it on video rather than in text, it seems that I'm the fucking bad guy. When all I'm trying to do is point out that a certain person has been found guilty of kiddie fiddling.
No, it's all wrong, mate. It's just, and it's getting frustrating now, because the position it puts you in is that you've got to be very careful how you put things across on YouTube now, and it's like you're looking over your shoulder all the time, because they can just pull the plug as and when. And really, is it like, can you be bothered with that? Which is why we've gone to Twitch. Yes, it's a pain in the arse, because we've got to try and get the people that were following us onto Twitch, and it's like, well, what is the point of doing a YouTube channel now if I've got to continuously, we're reporting, all I'm doing is reporting stuff that's in mainstream media, and we're sort of reading between the lines.
That's right, yeah.
And if you can get a strike for that, and they can put it down to bad, what they call it, medical misinformation or something, and it's like, well, we've not given any medical information out, we're just reporting what's in the paper.
Repeating what fucking mainstream media is saying.
Yeah, all right, we're trying to sort of pull the fat out from the story and reading between the lines, but we're not giving medical advice. I'm not saying you should be doing this or you should be taking this, or no, that's wrong what the WEF or WHO are saying. We're just asking questions. We're debating it, and if you can't have simple debate, then there's something seriously wrong. Something's being hidden, because what they're doing with qualified doctors and qualified virologists that want to put their opinion across that might differ from the narrative, they're just being deplatformed. So plebs like you and me, they wouldn't think twice of deplatforming us.
Yeah.
And the big question is, what is it they're so afraid of if we can't have this debate?
Oh, I agree. Totally agree. Mike, let me just interrupt you very quickly. Based Welshman has just asked me to send his number to you. Can you do me a favour?
Right, okay.
Can you email me at policeabusingpowers@gmail.com and just say send me Welsh's number? Just say
Yeah,
that.
will do,
Send me
mate.
Welsh's number, because otherwise I'll forget. And I apologise, you know, that I apologise
Yeah,
that
no
I will
worries.
forget, but I will. So if you
No,
could just
you're just
email
like
me
me,
at some
mate.
point, and
Okay.
I'll send that number over to you if that's okay.
All right. Cheers, Base. I'll be in touch with you, mate. Yeah, it'd be good to chat with
Thank
you
you.
anyway.
I
Good
appreciate.
base, Wilson.
I'm sorry for butting in there, but I just needed to say that before I forget it. That's all.
Yeah, no, thanks, mate. Thanks for that. Appreciate that. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I cover yourself, mate, because what I do, I use StreamYard, and I'm sort of dual casting now to both Twitch and YouTube. So, and I've warned people, look, if we disappear off YouTube, we're broadcasting on Twitch at the same time. That's where we're going to end up if we just suddenly disappear. And you know, I mean, all right, it's a slow process, but people do eventually make the move.
To be honest, Mike, what I need to do is I need to pay. I need to pay OBS, for example, which is the platform that I use to stream to multiple platforms at the same time.
I use OBS as well, yeah.
The problem that I've got at the moment, the main problem I've got at the moment, is because I'm on PIP. Okay, I'm not working. Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat things. I'm not working. Some people call me a scrounger or whatever. I've had a stroke. I'm not working.
Mate.
You know, and to afford to live at the moment and to afford to pay for things like
I know
OBS,
where you're coming from, mate. Yeah.
Monthly, for example, is an issue for me. Okay, which is why I stream to one place. But if I get to a position where I can stream to multiple places, where you know, pay OBS to stream to multiple, then I'll do that.
Well, I'll tell you what, you can use OBS, right? You can use OBS with StreamYards, and it will allow you to stream to both YouTube and Twitch.
It
and
will.
You don't pay.
You don't pay, did you say?
Yeah, you can do it free. It's only if you want to go to another platform like DLive, where you've manually got to put in the stream services. Anything where you've got to manually put it in, they charge you, like, I think it's £20 or £25 a month.
Okay.
But
I was under the impression that you was only allowed to stream to one platform. I didn't know you was allowed to stream to Twitch as well.
No.
It's not something that I'm on, to be fair. Twitch isn't something I'm on, the same as what's this other thing that everyone's fucking on at the moment?
Odyssey and
no.
Odyssey,
one of the main ones, not one of the ones that we would use, but one of the main ones.
Facebook,
Twitter. I can't think of it. It's called.
There's so many. Yeah, I know. God, keeping up with it all.
But you know,
but StreamYard should.
There's some.
Should allow.
In order for me to in order for me to stream to multiple platforms, it's going to cost me money. And at the moment, I'm you know, with the price of everything going up, and you know, I'm not going to lie, I'm on benefits at the moment. Okay, I'm not going to lie about that. I am. I've had my stroke. I can't work. I'm fucked basically. So I receive a very limited amount of money per fortnight. Most of that goes on my fucking gas and lecky. Which is embarrassing as it sounds.
I know, mate. Well, everything's going up. With certainly utilities.
I was thinking about opening a fucking the thing that Kerry Katona's on, and maybe just rubbing my nipples for a while. Just filming myself rubbing my nipples and see if I can make myself a millionaire.
Oh, I'll sign up for that, Dan. I'll sign up for that, mate. I'll pay you in KY, mate.
It's not going to happen. Even though I've got nice nipples, look. It's going to cause me a problem.
Oh,
but I you know, I want to carry on doing what I do. But I have to be realistic, and I have to use the platforms that I'm able to use at the moment.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Well, the trouble is with that. See, the thing is, it's out of people's control, because the thing is with YouTube now, they will pick you up on the most trivial of things. And it is getting worse. It's not getting any better. I mean, tonight you've just had a dose of it. And, you know, if they're trawling, they get their AI trawling your legacy stuff that you've done, and it picks up on something, a terminology that you've used wrong. That's how they get you. And I think once they got the teeth into you, that's it. You know,
do you know what, mate?
you're
one of the things I won't do is I won't apologise for what I say, okay? Unless I'm wrong.
Same here, mate.
If I'm wrong, I'll apologise. Other than that, I won't apologise. Now, I said earlier, and I'll probably get fucking throttled again for saying this now, but I used the word packy, okay? Now, I'm not saying that in a way to be disrespectful to anybody.
That's like someone calling me a Brit.
I'm using that.
So?
I'm using that so people know what a copper said. Okay. I'm letting you know. If I turn around and go, oh yeah, so a police constable said a word that is P asterisk 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 asterisk. That could be prick, prat. It could be anything. Yeah. I need to let people need to know what this fucking piece of shit said. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will use the word, and I won't apologise for that. I'm not saying it to be disrespectful to anybody. I'm saying it so that everybody watching knows what this copper has said. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, mate. Well, the thing is, we had a similar conversation this evening on our stream with regards to what you can say and what you can't say on YouTube. In particular, when it comes to the lurgy, the old Chinese cloth. Now, someone posted a link in and said, "Oh, can you play this new Ian Brown song?" Right, and it was about the lurgy and stuff like that. And I pulled up the lyrics as well. We had a quick listen to it. I pulled up the lyrics, right, and I just looked at it and I thought, well, hold up a minute. If I come up with a song, God help anyone that listens to me sing, but if I come up with a song with them lyrics, YouTube would ban it. But here we've got YouTube using with the Vivo channel, VVO, which is a conglomerate of record labels.
Yeah.
Ian Brown can put a song out like that and he won't get touched. Because if you look to the lyrics, it's like, well, hold up a minute, there's a bit of medical misinformation in there. How can these stars and these plebs and these record companies get away with it? They're not breaking the terms of YouTube's community guidelines. But if I was to come up with that exact same song and post it on YouTube, I'd get a strike.
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
What's going on? It just shows the hypocrisy of it all, and it just makes you think, well, is that allowed to slip out because it mentioned 5G as well and all that stuff? Is it allowed to slip out because it might help discrediting people that are questioning things? You know, this will help this discredit these people. That's why it doesn't get strikes, and it's allowed to propagate via the YouTube fucking AI, whatever it is. But yeah, but the thing is, I can't be arsed with it, YouTube. Now I've just got to the point, well, I'm on my last strike. If I go, I'll go. People know where we are.
And do you know what? As I've said before, I've every single, apart from live streams, every single video that I've uploaded, I've got a copy of. Now, some of that is uploaded to BitChute. I've joined BitChute, and occasionally it will grab my videos from YouTube and upload to BitChute. Occasionally, it should do all of them, but it doesn't. But I've got every single video backed up. So if something happens on here and I get booted, I do have another channel on here.
Right. Oh, you got a backup. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I've got another backup. It's called. This is Police Abusing Powers. My backup is Police Abusing Powers UK.
Right.
Although I've not promoted that at all, and I don't feel that I need to at the moment. But that's my backup. I've got no subscribers on that channel whatsoever, and there's nothing on there.
So ready to go.
There's nothing on there at the moment. But if I do get booted from this, I have that backup if I can use it. If I can't, then I'll have to go over to BitChute. But if I go over to BitChute,
well, if that does happen, mate, just let me know. You know, you got to share it with other channels. If that ever happened to you, and you said, right, well, I've got to go to BitChute, or I've got to go to, because honestly, allow live streaming.
Well, people like now. Marty Blagborough and what's his name, Palaki News, for example, and Civil Disobedience. I'll let them know, and they can let everybody else know. Hopefully,
exactly. That's the best
should
way
that
to do
be
it.
the case?
Yeah. You know, I mean, I haven't got thousands and thousands of subscribers, but you know, people that follow me also like what you do. So, it'd be, just let us know, let us all know. And but I'm not sure, what's his name? Civil Disobedience. Jamie, he'd do the same as well. I saw you on there a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
As well. That got a bit lively, that show.
There'll always be a way. I will always let people know. I might not be able to let everybody know because some people might not be subscribed to Civil Disobedience or Marty Blackburn, for example. But I will always, on my YouTube, on my Facebook, I will let Civil Disobedience, Marty Blackburn, and some of the other YouTubers, I will let them know of my new channel, and that hopefully they will let their subscribers aware of what happens. Thank you, Mickey Mouse. Much appreciated. Much love to you, brother.
Top man, Mickey Mouse. Dead lives matters.
So hopefully they will let people know that I've, of a new channel or where I am. But I certainly, I've got such a great core of subscribers. I'll certainly let people know where I'm going if I need to go elsewhere.
Nice one. Well, Dan, let's hope we don't get to that. But if it does, you've got people out there that you've only got to give us a shout. Look, can you put this about? Yeah, no problem with it at all. Dan, that. It's great to fucking see you back, mate. And I'm just finishing off a beer here. I've raised my glass up to you, mate, and wish you all the best
and
for your health and the future, mate. And Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to all your listeners. You have got a really good support community around you. In the chat there, they love you. Jamie, someone said, "Where's Jamie gone?" I think he does the sporadic ones now, which is good. Yeah, but to you, mate. Yeah, it's good to see you back, and it's much more from your channel.
Well, Mike, I appreciate you calling in. Obviously, we've spoken before, and we've shown you video on the channel of a situation that you was involved in. You're always welcome. Thank you very much for phoning in. I appreciate it, from the bottom of my heart, genuinely. I appreciate the support that you give the channel. Not me, but the channel.
You got me number there, Dan. If you do an OnlyFans page or something like that, just drop us the link, mate.
OnlyFans? So, do you want to see me rubbing my nipples?
It's got to be done, mate. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to your
Mike. Before you go
in the chat as well.
Before you go, genuinely, when my phone got stolen, the phone that got stolen was a Galaxy S21 fucking Ultra, which was 1,500 quid's worth of phone. That is what I was using for my YouTube stuff. So any phone numbers that I'd saved or anything like that were on the other phone. Please do me a favour, either email me with your number or message me on WhatsApp through the number on the header of this channel.
Is your email address on your about page on YouTube?
Yes, it is, mate. Yes, yeah.
Oh, it is. Well, I'll grab it from there, mate. Because I'm interested in speaking to Base Welshman as well. Yeah.
Sounds.
I know what that's like to lose a phone, mate.
Just let me know who you are when you message me, and I'll with the phone number. Not just you, but anybody that's watching. If you email me or WhatsApp me or whatever, let me know who you are because I've got nobody's number saved on this new phone.
Oh, mate, I'll send it to you.
And then I can save you, and then next time you contact, I need to contact you, I've got you, and I know who I'm contacting.
Nice one. Well, Dan, Merry Christmas to you, mate. All the best for the new year. I'm sure, hopefully, next year things are going to get better. All those to yours in your chat as well. Thanks very much. Merry Christmas to you guys.
It's a Mike from genuinely from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you calling in. It's lovely chatting to you again. It's been a while since we've spoken, but I genuinely appreciate chatting to you.
No, it's a real pleasure seeing you back, mate.
Thank you, my friend.
Keep up the good work, Dan, and take it easy. When no one's expecting you to do what you were doing last time and banging out the videos on a daily basis, just do it in your own time, mate. People appreciate you that you're just back, and don't feel that you've got to fucking commit and get a video out there every day.
I will do what I can. I promise. I will do what I can.
Nice
whether that's a live stream every week, and I talk about like I did today, and I talk about a few subjects before we get into the phoning and stuff. Even if I have to do that for a time being, but I will try and get back to as much as much as normal as I can.
Bye, mate. We're all banging the drum for you, mate, and
Thank you, Mike.
keep it up. It's been a pleasure speaking to you, mate.
Take care, my friend.
And you. Cheers,
Merry
man.
Christmas.
Take care, mate. Bye.
Bye-bye now. Hello, Toby. Hello. Toby Fox. I can't hear you. Say hello. No, okay. Hello, good evening and welcome. Hello.
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 How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Who am I talking to?
You're talking to, well, it's basically, I don't want to give my name out because it's something I want to talk about.
Well, you can give your username if you like. You don't have to give your real name.
Barry.
Barry. How you
Okay.
doing, Barry? You all right, my friend?
Sports, this is my account. Arcade Sports, my bad, sorry.
No, it's
But you can call me
absolutely fine.
Barry.
No problem at all, my friend.
Right.
How you doing?
So basically, I'm doing good. So the first thing I want to say to you is, I don't want. One thing I didn't like, because I'm an advocate, is when you said about growing marijuana that it was a mistake.
Okay.
And I don't think you can call mistake growing something that helps people. You know? I don't think you can call that a mistake. That's a mistake on other people's part for putting you in prison for it, but I don't think it's a mistake behind it.
Okay,
Or
understood.
growing it, sorry. My bad.
Understood. The reason that I say it was a mistake is because I was doing it for somebody else. I was doing it because my mental health was in a shit place at the time. Somebody persuaded me to use a spare room to grow their weed, and then they decided to stitch me up. They cut it all down. They took all the weed and then they grassed me up afterwards. That's why it was a mistake. But other than that,
I apologise.
I get what you're saying.
The other thing is, one time I was in a club, and I don't want to say what club or what town, but I was with my partner, and I have certain disabilities, and one of them is being anxiety, major anxiety, because I was taken away from my mother when I was a very young child. It's called reactive attachment disorder.
Okay.
And that will stay with me for life. It's a very rare disorder. And if you're with your mum for a certain amount of time and you form that attachment, and then, you know, people take you away from your mum at such a young age and they give you someone else, you struggle to trust anyone else. You can struggle to get a social interaction. You struggle with that. You struggle with conversation. You struggle with articulating yourself and so many other things in life.
Okay.
And I was in a club at one point, and I ended up passing out because when the club finished, I just turned 19 at the time, and it was the first time I went to a club. And there were so many people when the club finished, ended out rushing out of the door.
Mm-hmm.
And I passed out. So when I did pass out, they phoned the ambulance to come see me. And because of my mental health issues in the past, because of my disorder, they also phoned the police.
Okay.
So they wanted then for me to give me to give them my personal details, which I didn't really know what was going on at the time. I wasn't very clued up on the outside world. I was very closed in at home. You know, a lot can be going on outside. It would do me a lot of anxiety being out. I don't go out of my house as it is. So being so closed in, I didn't really understand, you know, what the police were. I thought the police were there for people that got into trouble, like did violent crime or was selling drugs or anything like that. So I didn't really necessarily understand what I did wrong.
Okay.
So when they started asking for my personal details, and I asked them, you know, what did I do wrong? And I was shaking. I told them I'm really anxious. I also suffer with autism. And I told them that they started grabbing me. And I pulled away from them and I said, listen, I just want a cigarette, just so they could just leave me alone. I pulled the cigarette box out of my pocket and I lit up the cigarette. And I don't know what it is inside of me, but it said I needed to run. I knew I was in trouble. And I'm not saying they hurt me or nothing like that, but I just wanted to go home. I knew that's where it was safe, and I knew that's, I was just a bit drunk, and all I wanted to do was go home.
Yeah, I understand.
So I explained that to them. I said, I just want to go home, please. They kept asking for my name, where I lived, and I was just so confused of why they needed to know this information and what was wrong with them. Because all I did was pass out. All I needed to do was check my vitals, I would assume, and then let me go. And they checked and they said I was fine, but because of my mental health record, they said that they think that I could be arresting myself or others. And my only mental health record was that I used to self-harm and was about to hurt myself. And I never said anything like that because I'd only just woken up to the ambulance people coming over to me. I was laying on a sofa in the club. And I tried to run because I don't know why. I saw two police officers and the ambulance. They started closing in on me, and I saw an escape route, and I ran. They grabbed me and they strapped me to the bed. Inside the ambulance, you got that bed.
Yeah.
They strapped me to that bed, took me to hospital, and they was like telling me that I weren't detained, but they put handcuffs on me and it hurt my wrists, and it really, really fucking frightened me. And it scared the life out of me, and I'm shaking as I'm speaking to you about it, to be honest with you. Honestly, it was the worst thing in the world. And when they took me to the hospital, and when I was taken to hospital, when I was threatening to hurt myself, they didn't ever do anything like this. But I can tell you one thing. No one was allowed to leave me. I wasn't allowed to go outside on my own. I wasn't allowed to do anything. I was put into a mental hospital. It was called Signet. And then I was moved to a different hospital in Ilford called Brookside. And that was when I was younger. But when I was in that hospital, I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't even go out for a cigarette on my own. I had to have a police officer with me, my mum, and 2 security guards, just in case I ran. Right. Now, when I was taken off this bed, carried in by these 2 police officers and 2 hospital people. They literally carried me. I was laying in their arms. And when they took me into the hospital, they just left. The police just left.
Right.
And that was that. They just took handcuffs off me and left. And then the ambulance people told me to sit down. They left me there for 24 hours. And after that, the doctor said to me, "Why are you here?" The doctor didn't even know why I came in. They didn't even write anything down. And it was like the only reason why I'm calling. I know it doesn't seem big after a lot of things that's happened, and I've seen things on your channel. But the thing is, for me, for such a traumatic event with my condition, it's frightening, right? And for them not to even know why I'm in there, and then send me home at 6 a.m. And I was in a completely different town. I was an hour and a half away from my house.
Let me just interject for a second. What you just said there was about feeling how you feel, sort of explaining this. Now, I don't care if somebody wants to phone up and talk, no matter what it's about. If someone's, I will listen. Okay? No matter what it's about, I will listen. Because there's a lot of people just need to get stuff off their chest. Okay? I get some people in the comments go, "Oh, fucking hell, this guy's boring," or whatever. But I will listen. All right? So if ever you need to talk, and I'm on a live stream or whatever, and you just want to phone up and you just want to talk to me, then feel free to do so. I just want to make that clear. No matter even if you just want to talk about shit because you've got nobody else to talk to, or whether you want to phone up and you want to talk about something that I've spoken about previously, I don't care. I'm here because I've got spare time, and I'll give my time to anybody that needs it. Okay, so I just want to make that clear to you and to anybody else that's listening. If I'm on here and I'm doing a live and I've got phone lines open, and you want to talk and you just want to speak to somebody, even if it's to talk about your day or whatever it might be, you might want to talk about how you're feeling. You might just want to talk about shit. You might want to talk about anything. I'm here for that. Okay, that's what these live streams are for. I just want to make that very, very clear to you and to anybody else that's listening. Okay, so never feel bad or never feel fucking embarrassed about phoning up. Even if people in the comments are saying shit, for example, like, "Oh, this guy's boring, get rid of him," I won't. I am here for people to talk to. Okay, that's why I open my phone lines. Okay, so if you want to talk about anything, please do never feel fucking, bad. Never feel like you're taking up somebody's time. Never feel that you're wasting time. I'm here for you, and I'm here for anybody else that needs to talk. Okay, I just want to make that perfectly clear to you and everybody else that's listening. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I just want to make it really clear that I'm here for anybody. Whether you want to talk, as it says on the screen, share your story, whistle blow, talk crap, or call me names. I don't care. Just fucking phone me and talk to me if you need somebody to talk to, and I'm here for you. All right?
Mhm.
Okay.
So ultimately, I wanted to know what you thought about the story, basically, and well, not story. I mean, it happened, but like, what you know, what your thoughts are. I mean, it's take. I'm glad I got it off my chest. To be honest, I spoke to my mum about it. I was going to put in a complaint, but to be fair, I was just anxious. That's again one of the things that stops me doing most things, like going outside and doing anything. I was anxious, and I spoke to my mum, and I had videos of it as well on my phone. I had it even posted on Facebook.
So I get it. I understand. I genuinely do. There are times when I've been in similar situations. Okay, now I come on here and I might seem like I'm confident and outgoing and all the rest of it, but trust me, there are times when I just completely shut off because I'm so low that I can't talk to people. I feel guilty talking to people. Okay, I feel bad phoning people up and saying I feel like shit, so I don't. I keep it to myself. And I know how bad and how dangerous that can be. So I try and open myself up, whether it be through this or through messaging services, Facebook or WhatsApp, whatever it might be. And I try and make myself available for people where I can. Some people say to me, I'm sort of hiding my own issues by helping other people rather than helping myself. But by helping people, I feel like I'm helping myself. By giving people a voice, I feel like I'm helping myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So no matter what you need to talk about, I open these phone lines. That's what it says on the screen as I say, hang on. Share your story, whistle blow, talk crap, or call me names. Whatever you need to do, I'm here to in some way help people where I can, even if that's just being an ear to bend. Do you know what I mean? So never feel bad about needing to speak to somebody is the first thing. I kind of get where you're coming from, and I'm the same sometimes. I will cut myself off from people because I don't want to talk about stuff. My family, for example, I've got a WhatsApp group. I set it up, a WhatsApp group for my family, but I very rarely go in there and tell people how I'm feeling, tell my brothers and sisters and my parents how I'm feeling. I very rarely do that because I feel guilty bringing people down. But
relate to that, fuck.
But the thing is, it's difficult to explain. It's much easier for me to say to people, don't bring people down. Come and talk to me. Do you know what I mean? Because I know where you've been. I know what you're going through. I know how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people don't because they've not been through that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry for interrupting you there and
sure.
fucking and going on. So forgive me for that, but I just want to let you know that I'm here for anybody that needs to speak, regardless to what it's about.
The other one issue I ever had with police was the fact that one time I was drunk, and it might sound unrelated, But I was drunk, and I was in my porch eating cheese, and all of a sudden there was a knock at the door at 6 a.m. Now I've been drinking all night, and I was on the laptop talking to my partner, and literally the whole night he stayed awake because he knows I'm not really trusted to people myself. So basically, I got a knock on the door at 6 a.m. and it's the police. And apparently an email was sent from my computer, miraculously, that a woman was tied up and murdered in an attic. And, I mean, now I'm sitting in the porch eating cheese. It's miraculous. But they sat there for 30 minutes interrogating me about this in my own room and then just left.
Okay.
And it's weird. It's weird. I've had these two encounters, and they were about a year and a half apart, and it's just weird. Do you know what I mean?
When it comes to places, I was saying.
I mean, I can't set the name, and I would have known.
I said earlier, when it comes to the police, I feel personally that they don't want to get involved with people with mental health issues. They go on, when you see these fucking television programs and they go, we're there for people when they need us, blah, blah, blah. They're not. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, they only bother with people with mental health issues when they have to. Okay, if they can get out of it, they will.
Just frighten you. That's what they do. They just frighten you.
Yeah, they turn up. I've seen videos of people of police turn up to a mental health issue, and they'll chat to the person initially. Then they'll go right, well, fucking coming in to get you, and they'll start throwing orders about and threatening people, and it's wrong. It's wrong. It's because they can't be asked. That's what it is. It's because they're not trained. And they're not asked about people with mental health issues. Even though that's one of the most serious fucking problems that we have at the moment. There's more serious than COVID, as far as I'm concerned, is mental health issues. And they'll go, fuck it, I can't be asked with bollocks. Do you know what I mean? And they'll treat you like you're a criminal. Okay, I've not had the issue myself, I've got to be honest. I've been lucky. Normally, when I have an episode, as I call it, I call the ambulance rather than the police. And the ambulance service know, they know who I am. They take notes from everybody that phones up, so they know who you are. When I phone the ambulance service, they'll send an ambulance out. They'll take me to the hospital. And I'll be honest, I've had to do that a few times. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to fucking exaggerate. I've had to call the ambulance a few times because I felt so low. Sometimes, I have taken overdoses over the last few years. I've wanted to end it, and then it gets to a point where I start feeling fucking, I start losing my mind a bit because I've taken a certain amount of tablets. I phone the ambulance and they'll come out. They know that I'm not dangerous. They know that I'm not fucking violent. They'll come out and they'll help me. And fucking God bless them for doing so, even though I don't believe in God. But a lot of people, especially people that haven't called the services before, they will send the police because they don't know who the person is, and the police have no fucking idea how to deal with people. They'll turn up, they'll go, "Oh, are you okay? Right, we're fucking coming in to get you. We're going to arrest you," which sends you off on one. You're suffering from mental health. You got fucking people knocking on you, banging on your door, not knocking, but banging on your door, threatening you. Of course, that's not going to make things any better. It's going to send you fucking worse. I genuinely wish I could say something that could help. Maybe 70% of the people that watch this channel. I genuinely wish I could say something that would make them feel like that, feel better. I can't. I don't know what to say. All I can do is offer my own opinion and offer my own advice and tell people about my own situation, which hopefully in some way gives people an idea of of what I'm going through and how I've dealt with it and how they possibly can deal with something as well. You know, for your own situation, I genuinely wish I could say something that would make you feel better.
Can I just...
Of course, go on.
Sorry, I just wanted to... I really didn't want to interrupt. I'm really sorry. It's just... I wanted to say, like, obviously, because of my condition, it's just like sometimes... well, I say sometimes. With my condition, you have to learn to... Because, obviously, I was taken away from my mum. And I, learned to love her, and then she was gone. So I couldn't really learn to love anyone else. I didn't really cry when I was hungry when I was younger. So when I grew up, it was hard to trust. It was hard to love. You grow up listening to things on TV, things on newspapers, things just in general saying, trust the police, trust, they will help you do this. You get on a train, the transport police, they will help you. If you see any sexual harassment, you look, see, whatever the slogan is, I can't tell you now, but all of that stuff. Now, with my condition, when you've been taken away from your mum, and as a baby, obviously, I've only had to just learn this. So, as a baby, it must have really fucked my head up. But with that, you can't then betray that trust, and which I see the police do day in, day out, not just to me with the examples I've given you, but, videos on YouTube, videos walking down the street, sometimes in town. You see, one time I had to stick up for a homeless person in Liverpool. He was sitting there and he was asking for money now and then, and he was sharing his story with me. Now, homeless people are people. They are. They just are. Some of them may be drug addicts. Some of them could be. I couldn't say they all are. I know a lot. I know some of them. They had a very tough life. Some of them came from abusive households, and the street is easier than anything else, and that is just fact. We can't all circle them all into one, group. So I think that. So anyway, so he was asking for money, and this security guard was going, "You got to leave." And he was on public land. He was on the pavement, and he was threatening to call the police. And the homeless guy was like shaking. And then I said to him, "You got to leave him alone, man. Like honestly, he's on the street. He's doing nothing wrong. Just leave him alone." And then he threatened to take my train ticket away from me that was in my hand whilst I was smoking a cigarette, and saying that he's going to rip it up and that I won't be able to get on the train. And this is like that's just security guards.
Do you know what it sounds like
Police
to me?
officers, they're like 20 times worse.
I'll tell you what it sounds like to me.
Especially when it comes to people.
Forgive me for being presumptuous.
What?
But it sounds to me like you've got a similar situation to me. Now, I've got emotionally unstable personality disorder, is what I've been diagnosed with. Okay, which means that when I'm supposed to feel sad, I don't feel sad. I feel a completely different emotion. When I'm supposed to feel loved, I don't. I feel a completely different emotion. Okay, and I might be wrong. Forgive me if I am. But I'm just telling you what I feel from what you're telling me. I feel that you have a similar situation to me. When you're supposed to feel something at a certain point in your life, you're supposed to feel something at a certain situation, but you don't. You feel something completely different, and that's what I have. I remember. Let's go way off of subject sort of for a minute. I was seeing a woman, and her dog, I'd been with her for a while, for a year or so, and her dog needed to be put down. She was crying, her friend was crying, her son was crying. We was at the PDSA, the dog was getting the injection, and I felt pissed off that they were upset. Okay. I felt pissed. I was genuinely angry at the fact that she and her friend and her son were upset that the dog was getting put down. Okay, due to having this fucking emotionally unstable personality disorder. And from what you're saying, don't get me wrong, I might be completely way off base here, but again, I can only say what I think at a specific time. it sounds to me that like you have a similar situation, maybe an emotionally unstable personality disorder in that respect, where you feel different. An incident that everybody else does. Everybody else is maybe sad at a situation, but you don't feel sad. You feel angry, for example. Does that make sense? I might be completely wrong. Please tell me if you think I am. Please, don't just agree with me.
Yeah.
But that's how I felt for a long time.
No, I'm not at all. I'm not at all. No, I completely understand. I've had certain situations where I have finished up in the situation thinking, what the fuck am I doing? Just, what am I doing? Relax. Do you know what I mean? And it's not just with anger. It's also with distraught and upset as well. There's been times where I've looked at myself and I've thought, this has gone way too far, over such a minor situation. I'll give you an example. Like I was, I could be thinking about a certain situation that's made me anxious, really, really made me anxious.
Yeah.
Like I was outside my house talking about coke, and I live with my mum, and I'm embarrassed.
I'll be embarrassed.
My mum, I live on a sofa. I'm trying to get her.
Look, trust me. If I could live with my parents now, I fucking would.
And I ain't seen my brother in.
Listen, don't feel embarrassed. If I could live with my parents now, I fucking would. Trust me. Do not feel embarrassed about that shit. Trust me. I'm serious. I'm serious. If I could think about the money, not just about the money I'd save, not just about the money I'd save, but about everything else. Do you know what I mean? If I had somebody to take care of shit for me, like a parent would, I would feel so much better.
No.
Trust me, and I get what you're saying. If you could, you would, and you've got nothing to be embarrassed about.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry for jumping. I'm sorry for jumping on. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
And again, I know you said I got no. No,
Go on.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Sorry, you.
I think there's a delay for some reason.
Yeah, I can. Did I do anything wrong? Sorry.
Crack on. Please carry on.
So is everything all right? That was all, because I was talking, because you said sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah, no, please.
Okay,
please go ahead.
So basically, what was I saying? I'm saying something, I can't remember. Honestly, I can't remember.
I'm sorry, that's my fault. I apologise.
Do you remember what I'm saying?
Do you know what? You have the same problem as me, right? I'll talk about something, and suddenly it will fucking evaporate from my brain, and I won't have a clue. So I apologise genuinely.
Can anyone in the chat jog my memory? I hate to take over the stream, but I just.
That's all right. Come on, people in the chat. What was he talking about? Because my mind's gone fucking. My mind's gone to shit. Sorry. Come on, tell us. If nobody can tell us, then we know that they're not listening.
It was a vape.
If nobody can tell us what he was talking about, we know nobody's listening, and we know they're all ignorant fuckers.
Someone must know.
Can you see the stream?
Yes. Yes. What a fucking legend. Yes. So I can. Yeah. It's on my computer. So basically, I was outside of my mum.
Right.
I was outside my mum's house, and I was talking to my brother. Now, I haven't spoken to my brother in 3 years. And My brother had done a lot of cocaine in the past. It's been very violent in the household, and this was me growing up. I watched my brothers beat the fuck out of each other nearly once in every month, and obviously with my trust and my condition, it broke a lot of that, especially with my older brother. He did it a lot to my younger brother because he was stronger, also trained in UFC. So it got quite violent.
Okay.
And that I didn't really trust my older brother for that reason, right? To the point of my brother battered my other brother, and he had to move out. Okay. And so he was on cocaine, and we haven't spoken for 3 years because of that reason. And I also dabbled in it just because I had the chance to. I was in a pub. I watched both of my brothers do it for years, and I just thought, what's the big deal? So I gave it a good go,
okay,
now and then, and I was outside talking to him, and I may have been a bit loud because I was drinking, and we was joking about the price of a bag of it, and all of a sudden I had like one neighbour come out and the other neighbour come out, and now I'm being kicked out of my house because apparently I was being too loud. But only 2 people heard it, so I can't have been that loud unless I was outside,
Right.
I don't know, but basically I'm being kicked at my ass because of it, so that's a little bit worrying.
Oh, fucking hell.
But again, like with my condition, I don't understand why I'm being kicked out, because I can understand I was a tiny bit loud, but, well, I say a tiny bit, if I woke Superman up, I would have been more loud than a tiny bit, but, like, I didn't take it, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't hurt anyone. I don't understand why. Do you know what I mean? I just don't get it.
And
I only spoke about
and I get where you're coming from.
It's not
genuinely.
like I've committed any crimes. I haven't put anyone at risk.
No, but people are afraid. I think people are afraid of people that are suffering from mental health problems. In my opinion, people are afraid. I mean, my family don't watch these live streams, or they don't watch any of my stuff. They don't even know that I'm on fucking YouTube. But my family are the same. Okay, they are afraid. They ask me how I am now and again. That's it. But they don't understand what I'm going through, and it feels to me in a lot of cases that they're afraid to ask. And maybe it's the same for you. Maybe people don't ask you properly, how are you feeling? They might go, oh, how you feeling? But you don't feel that they want to know genuinely how you're feeling. They just want you to tell them what they want to hear. Whereas telling somebody, from the outside, wanting to know how you feel is completely different to actually how you feel. In my opinion, in my situation, I don't tell people genuinely how I feel in 90% of cases. Somebody goes, oh, how are you? I'll go, oh, I'm okay. People are afraid to ask, which is why so many people go so long without people asking how they are genuinely. And they feel that they're alone because of that. You might get somebody go,
sorry
how...
for interrupting, but it's because it's for people that people are afraid to know.
Yeah. Look, you might tell tell somebody.
I don't necessarily think people are afraid to ask. I think people are afraid to know how you are.
You might tell somebody how you feel, but you don't tell them how you actually feel, because you feel guilty telling them. That's how I feel. I feel guilty telling people how I actually feel sometimes, because I don't want to bring them down. So I tell them what I think they want to hear. Okay, that's the truth. That's the God's honest truth. I tell people sometimes what I think they want to hear, because I don't want to have to explain myself to people. Okay? Plus, people don't want to hear it. People are scared. If you turn around to somebody and say how you actually feel, you feel guilty, because that person has then got to deal with how you actually feel. You might want to kill yourself. I felt that way many times. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say it just to fucking please people. I have felt myself
People don't
many
want
times
responsibility for that, do they?
that I have had enough and I want to fucking end it all. Okay. Now this is a live stream. I'll never delete my live streams. I say what I say. If I make a mistake, I'll always apologise for that in a future live stream. But I feel sometimes that I've had enough, and I want to end it. Okay, genuinely, 100%. Sometimes feel like I want to end it, but I won't tell people that because I'm afraid that that's going to bring them down, and that'll make me feel even more guilty than I already do. Now, I'm here to tell you and to tell anybody else that's listening that I'm here. There might not be anybody else that's available for you, but I am here to help anybody that feels that desperate, that alone, that they haven't got anybody else to turn to. I've felt that many times. I know how fucking horrible that feels. I know how alone that makes you feel, how desperate that makes you feel. Okay, and I am here, you know, where I can be to help people, whether that's just to talk shit, just to have somebody to talk to, or whether that's to, you know, like yourself, explain your situation you're going through. You don't have to identify yourself. You can be, what's the word? You can still be, what's the word I'm thinking of?
Anonymous.
Anonymous. That's it.
And I'm sorry for that.
No. Don't be sorry. Never be sorry, ever. You can still be anonymous, and you can call in. I'll never give your number out. I'll never give your name out. You tell me your name is whatever you
As
fucking
I said
want
from
it
my
to be.
stories before, I don't know a lot of the time why they actually came after me, so
Look, don't ever be sorry.
that's why I didn't want to say nothing, you know.
Please listen to me. Right, don't ever be sorry to call me. If you need somebody to talk to that's been through something similar, or at least I will listen to you. You know, normally I'll give people 10 minutes. We've been on for 36 and a half minutes. Okay, I will listen to you as long as you need to. All right, trust me.
Oh God, sorry about that.
No, don't ever be sorry, for fuck's sake, please. Okay, I'm here for people where I can be. I can't do as much as I want to. I wish I could do more. I genuinely wish I could do more. I can't. But what I can do is I can be here for people when they need to talk. Okay, and if you need to talk, whether it takes fucking 10 minutes or 120 minutes or 130 minutes or fucking 3 hours, whatever, if I can be here for you, I will be. Trust me. That is my solemn promise to you and to everybody else watching this. Okay? You understand that,
Look,
yeah?
can I just talk about one more thing just before I leave you? Because as you said, yep, I do. And as you said, you give people 10 minutes. So I just want to talk about one more thing quickly.
Okay.
Look, someone in your chat said get the jab. Now, I don't want to be an arse and I don't want to be controversial, nothing like that. But I had meningitis when I was about 1 year old. So when I was younger, I had really long needles pushed into my arm.
Listen,
not that I remember it, but I've always been
hang on 1 second.
I've always been frightened of.
Just give me 1 second because
no matter a blood test or anything else.
Just give me 1 second.
Sorry?
Because I'm really, for some reason, I'm on the red, which means that my stream is not getting through. So just give me 1 second while I try and fix this. But I'm really buffering at the moment for some reason.
No worries at all, man. I'm sorry about that.
YouTube doesn't want us to talk about what we're talking about for some reason.
No, that's fine. Honest.
And it's trying to throttle me. So please be patient with me for just a second.
Oh. Of course I will. Take your time.
And while I'm waiting for while I'm waiting for YouTube to stop throttling me, if you can hear me, by the way, anybody that's watching this, I want to thank the people who have chucked a couple of quid our way.
I can.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for any support you've given me. Chucking a few quid our way. It you know, don't get me wrong. This cost me nothing to do on a Sunday night. This cost me absolutely nothing. But any support that you give me in that way genuinely helps to better the channel. It all goes towards any equipment that I need, any help that I need, getting the channel to a position that gives you a better experience. So thank you for those people that have supported me financially tonight. I'm streaming again, so I'm hoping that will sort of give it a bit of a kickstart. But it's not. It's staying on red at the moment. Oh, this is
Just
really
here. When do you stream? Do you normally stream on a Sunday? Or?
If I do a stream, normally a live stream, I normally do it on a Sunday. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. Sorry, I let you sort this out.
It's stuck on red at the moment, which means I've dropped. I'm really struggling. I've got nothing else running.
YouTube's been fucking you, man.
I've got nothing else running. Literally, I've got nothing else running.
15.
I've shut off everything that could be using bandwidth. Absolutely everything. And for some reason, it is throttling me something rotten.
This should go someone that I played like 2 games at a time on my PC. So I mean, there's no way it could be anything other than YouTube having an issue with it.
Well, I hope at some point in the near future, I hope to be able to give the computer system I've got. I hope to be able to improve the RAM that it's got. The HDD that it's got should be enough. It's got a couple of terabytes on HDD, but the RAM I think is 16 gig. I hope in the future to be able to improve that to 32 to try and help that situation. But at the moment, I seem to really be struggling for some reason. But I think genuinely, I
know a good website you can get some decent parts for.
I think it's YouTube rather than anything else that's throttling me. I genuinely believe that I'm being throttled because of what I'm talking about. And to be fair, all we've talked about for the last 30 minutes is mental health. And why they're throttling me, I don't know.
It's a lot better now at the moment, by the way.
It seems on my OBS it's showing green. It's showing green.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's very odd. It's a lot better now.
It was struggling, so I apologise for anybody that missed anything just now. I do apologise. But I think YouTube is throttling me. So forgive me for that.
If you do want to get any more RAM, Overclock is the best place to go.
Where, sorry?
Sorry for interruption.
No, go on. Where did you say?
There's a delay. I said if you do want any more RAM, Overclock is the best place to go.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Overclock is the best place to go for some RAM. There's a delay. I'm over twice.
There was a place in
no, seriously.
There was a place in Shoebury in Essex that I used to get all my stuff from. I used to build PCs. I used to build them for a living long time ago, 10 years or so ago. I used to get all my stuff from a place in Shoebury in Essex.
Oh, you know that. Yeah.
But I haven't done any of that stuff for a long time, to be fair. Whether or not, I don't even know if they're going still. So I don't know where to go to get decent stuff at the moment. So, you know, anybody that's suffering because of my stream is lagging or anything like that, I apologise. I'm sure it's YouTube rather than my system, but I apologise nonetheless. Sorry, I do apologise. Carry on.
I do. No, you're fine. You're fine. As I said, there was someone in your stream that talked about get the jab. Now that the thing is that it worries me. And it worries me the people that keep saying get the jab. And I don't want to be, as I say, controversial or anything like that. But everyone that keeps saying get the jab, get the jab. Now I want everyone in the stream to keep in mind that I had meningitis when I was 1 year old. And I had massive injections that had frightened me for the rest of my life. And I am not a vaccine denier. I will say, if you can get the vaccine, please do. You know, if you're not worried, if anything like that. And I'm not worried about the vaccine, but what I'm worried about is the injection. It hurts. I was mentally scarred when I was younger with the meningitis. Now, the whole reason I get worried about the whole get the jab thing is these COVID passports. And I don't want to be controversial, bring politics into it and all that. But the thing is that COVID passports for me is fucking disastrous. With my mental health issues, as we spoke about before, if I have to go somewhere I like wrestling. I love a good bit of wrestling. And everyone in wrestling is very nice, very kind. Now, if I don't have my jab, I can't go to my wrestling show. Now, it really hurts my mental health not being able to leave my home since I'm in the house 24/7. And again, I want to make this quick because I know you've got other people that need to call. And I just want to say, you know, spam and get the jab and everything like that, it just doesn't help people like me that is mentally scarred through an illness when they were younger and actually, you know, walking into a doctor's office, the anxiety is just major. I can't even get a cut checked out without 3 people with me to make sure I'm okay. And there's no injections in the room. I can't walk in there knowing there is one.
I fully understand.
So that's all I wanted to say.
When I tell you know my only personal opinion is my opinion. If somebody else has a completely different opinion, I will listen to that. Okay, so if you feel that the vaccine is the way to go, then that is entirely fine. I won't knock you for it. I won't take the piss out of you for it. I will completely accept and understand your position. Okay.
Have you had it?
I haven't. No, I haven't. And to be honest, I won't, because I don't feel personally. Yeah, of course you can. I personally, I don't feel that I don't feel that I've been proved. I don't feel that the government have proved that I should, in my own opinion. Okay, I completely understand people that do. Don't get me wrong. I won't knock people.
Not with a party,
As you've heard me before, on this channel, I won't knock people. If somebody feels that they think the vax is the way to go, that's absolutely fine. I appreciate that and I accept that. But for me personally, it's like believing in God. I have to be honest with you. It's like believing in God. I've not seen anything conclusive that proves that it is the way to go, that it is the way out of this, in my opinion. Okay, so please don't think I'm knocking you.
There's things that worry me about it, but I won't want to talk about it. But, right. I mean, I wouldn't take it not because I'm worried about the jab, but there are things I worry about the jab. But I'm more worried about the injection more than what is about the jab. But
okay, I
would say that it was made very, very quickly. That is all.
And again, I wouldn't knock you for any of your opinion with regards to that. I understand and I accept your decision, and I won't knock you for it. For me personally, I think that there's not enough at the moment that proves that it is the way out of this situation. For me personally. So again, please don't think I'm knocking you, because I'm not, and I won't ever knock anybody that's got an opinion that comes on my live stream. I have my opinion, you have your opinion, and that is absolutely fine, and I must respect that. Do you know what I mean? I've got to respect your opinion the same as I expect you to respect mine. Do you know what I mean?
Look, the thing for me is that I haven't heard No, I do know what you mean. I do what you mean. But the thing for me is that I keep hearing, and I listen to a lot of a radio station, which I won't mention because I don't want to plug it. But where they talk about the injection being, the end all, But what happened to, 20 million jabs in someone's arm for lockdown to, stop, and all these restrictions to finish? We still have restrictions. And they're still thinking about lockdown after Christmas. And again, I don't want to get political. But the thing is, what I'm thinking is that at the end of the day is we've been lied to many times. And how many jabs is enough? How many, once the most vulnerable people are protected, I think that's okay. But to be having the vaccine passport to walk into to any place is silly for people that are scared of injections, and it causes more anxiety than it does any good. I'm more worried about the injection than I am worried about COVID, and that's the thing for me, is that I have to weigh up the risk, and I'm younger than you, and I'm really not going to get bothered by it, right? So for me, I just feel that if I'm not going to get bothered by it, what is the point for me to have this COVID pass? I don't go on holiday anyway, so it doesn't fucking bother me if I need a holiday. But for places like Austria, is stopping people going in shops and stuff.
Yeah.
And stuff like that is worrying when I see people in your chat saying, go and get the jab, because we can't have that. We can't have that happen here. People like me are frightened, not of the jab, but of the needle inside. The way I see it is a big metal rod sticking in my arm. I don't want that. Do you know what I mean? I don't want that. It feels like getting stabbed. I don't want that. So
there's a lot of unknowns at the moment. And without knocking anybody that decides to take the jab, it's still an unknown at the moment, as far as I'm concerned. Okay. We don't know what the long-term effects are. We don't know how people are going to react in the future. We might know how people react now, but how they're going to how their body's going to react if they can even get 6 months or a year's time. We don't know that, because from what I can gather, we're still in a trial period. Now, don't get me wrong, some people might call me out on that, but I feel we're still in a trial period. In most cases, vaccines are tested for years before they're released to the public. This has been months before it's been released to the public. I'm not suggesting for a moment that it's wrong. I'm not suggesting for a moment that it is dangerous. But what I'm suggesting is that we don't know 100% what the long-term effects are going to be, and again, for those people that choose to have the vaccine, that is entirely their decision. I won't knock them for it. That we get people in the comments, don't get me wrong, we get people in the comments that will knock you for that decision. I won't. I understand that you have to do what you feel is right for you at the time. Okay. And it's easy for people, if I was on somebody else's stream, it's easy for me to go, oh, you're a fucking knobhead, rah, rah, rah. But genuinely, as somebody, I'm not trying to be big-headed, but as somebody that may have an effect on how people think, and I may have, I've got 30 odd, nearly 40,000 people that watch this channel. I may have an effect on how they think and what they do. So I have to be careful what I say. I will tell people quite clearly how I feel personally, but that may be different to how they feel. And if that's how it is, then, I will respect their opinion. And the same as yours. If you've had the vaccine, for example, completely respect that. Absolutely. That is your decision, not mine. I will not knock you for it. Listen, Eddie, I'm going to have to call it a day. We've actually been chatting.
Are you not worried about the COVID passports?
We've actually been chatting for nearly 55 minutes. which it doesn't even feel that long, to be honest. So I appreciate you calling. I appreciate you being so candid, and I appreciate you being so honest with us as well, with myself and the people watching. I genuinely appreciate that. But I do need to move on and take some more calls before I call it a night. So, apologies for cutting it short, but
no worries.
I genuinely
Thank you so much for taking my call.
No,
Don't worry. I'll call you probably next week anyway.
Genuinely appreciate you calling in, 100%.
Sure, fucking hell, you've given me enough time, eh?
Honestly, I appreciate you calling in. Anybody that I can talk to and just talk to, like I do with yourself, I'll give you as much time as you need. Some people piss me off and I have to cut them off. I won't say who, but some people phone in and they get on my tits and I go, I've got to cut you off. But some people I can talk to for hours. Do you know what I mean? But I have to think about everybody else as well. So forgive me. If you do want to chat outside of this live stream, please abusingpowers at gmail.com. Drop me an email.
It wasn't quick, so I apologise.
Well, if you want to chat outside of this, I have time during the day sometimes to call you. So if you want to drop me an email at policeabusingpowers at gmail.com with your phone number, let me know who you are. I will call you back as soon as I'm able to, and we will have a chat, offline if you need to chat to somebody. All right.
For sure.
Listen, I appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you,
Genuinely
man.
appreciate it.
Have a good day.
And you. Good night.
Thanks, man. Bye,
All
bro.
right, man. Take care. Mr. Crinkle, how the fuck are you?
Yo! Well, Daniel.
Listen, before you start on me, let me go for a piss. So just hang tight, and I'll be back in about a fucking minute and a half. All right?
Yeah, brother, go for it, man.
Stay there. Don't piss my viewers off. Just be quiet.
I'll stop it there, and I'll have a little chat. You know what I mean? I'll chat to the chat, and go for it.
I'll be
Dan.
back in literally fucking 60 seconds.
Is my sound all right? Yeah. Anyway, I lost the chat. Is my sound all right?
Yeah.
Because I've just set up.
You sound
Skype
good.
again.
You sound good. I'll be back in 60 seconds.
All right, brother. So we've taken over Dan's show. It's now the Crinkle Show. Yeah, get your porn bombs out. I'm only joking. Big up all the crew in the chat. Big up your COVID tests. You know what I mean? Big up Richard Upton. I hear you did some good work today on another radio show that will remain nameless. I can't wait to see that, actually. I like watching their little their echo chamber, but it hurts my ears. You know what I mean? I just don't understand it. Why don't people allow freedom of speech? And they're the ones complaining about freedoms being impinged. The only ones doing that stuff seems to be them shutting down the opposition. So, you know what I mean? Shout to Horace. I saw him in there. And I'm trying to find my Skype settings. Oh, have I got them? Oh, there they are, I think. I need to adjust my my volume. Well, can you hear me all right? Apparently you can. So, you know what I mean? Dan's probably nearly finished. So, he'll be on his way back in a minute. I'm just trying to find my settings. Can he find them? Ah, found them. Found them. Audio, video. Yes, Daniel.
Yo.
Well.
I'm back. How the fuck are you, Crinkle?
Well. Yeah, not bad. I've got a bit of a sore neck. I've pulled a muscle.
Is that anything to do with all that fucking ironing you had to do?
Could be. Well, I mean, the pile fell on me and it did my neck in.
How are you, Crinkle, anyway? All right, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. It's good to see you back on again.
Good.
And you're getting back to full power.
Good. As I've
I
said
thought-
before, and I'll say it again, you know, I'm quite happy to chat with you. I know some people get pissed off with you, but I'm quite happy to chat with you, right? Because if we all believed the same thing, life would be very boring.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, so
I've actually been.
Go on, crack on.
No, go on. I've actually been accepted much more now on most of these channels. It's only one or two who won't entertain me, but they've realised people want to hear.
I'll have you on,
You know.
Crinkle. I'll have you on because I believe everybody should hear from both sides. Okay.
Exactly.
And I'm
And
quite
there's
happy
so
for
many
that.
channels out there who just won't even hear the other side. And to me, they're the tyrants, you know, and they're always complaining about our freedoms and blah blah blah. The freedom to come in and disagree is cut short on those channels, and they're just hypocrites,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Look,
Fucking hypocrites.
Crinkle, I might not agree with you, okay, but I will let you, because I believe in free speech, I will let you have your say. End of.
Cool.
All right.
Okay,
Simple
I've got a
as
couple
that.
of things to bring up,
Please do.
but go on.
Please do. Go on, mate.
Well, first of all, I've been doing some deep research, right?
Fucking hell. Go on.
Deep research, right? And what I was doing was researching some conspiracy theories,
Yeah.
and I came across this conspiracy theory that at first I thought, this is not real, this is just bullshit. The fact, but then upon further investigations and an uncovering of evidence, discovered it's actually real. And
Really? So
it's
you
the fact
you
that-
found a conspiracy theory that actually is proven.
yeah, when I investigated it,
Now I'm
And,
lost for
I mean,
words.
if-
Go on.
and everybody has their own evidence that will back this up as well. Like the theory is, and I've sort of confirmed it by my own observations as well as all the documents that have been leaked.
Okay.
All birds in this country have been replaced by government drones that are solely intended to, surveil us and keep us under.
Right, Crinkle,
you know,
when you
get
say birds,
information. Yeah.
do you mean women or actual, the avian variety?
Oh, the avian variety.
Okay. I just wanted to clear that up, just in case there's
Yeah.
anybody wondering. Go on.
Oh, the avian variety. All right. Just for, I've seen all the documents, right, which have been leaked, but just a few questions you need to ask yourself, right?
Okay.
Have you ever seen a baby pigeon?
I have actually. When I
have?
was yeah. Honest to God, when I was about
You don't
I
work
don't
for
know,
the government, do you?
when I was about 16, I used to hang around with a guy called Troy Green. His name was Troy Green.
When you were 16.
Now, yeah, and he used to live in a flat. He was a bit older than me, and me and a few mates used to go around there and smoke weed and shit. But years ago when I was a fucking rebel, and we used to go around his house, and he had a BB gun, and he had on his balcony. He used to live in a block of flats, and he had on his balcony he had a family of pigeons. And they gave birth. He had loads of fucking baby pigeons. Okay, now you don't see him often. Don't get me wrong. I'll agree with you. You don't see him often. Very rarely do you see baby pigeons. But he had a bunch of baby pigeons, and he went out there with the RSPCA were going around shooting them. The RSPCA were going around killing the baby pigeons on the balconies. He went out there with his own BB gun. Pop. Fucking see you later.
Okay. Oh,
crack
I
on.
mean, there was a time before they were replaced fully that the government would encourage people to buy air guns and shoot birds, and that's obviously from the time before they'd all been replaced by the drones. So, I mean, it's still possible, but very rare for you to come across a bird, shoot it, and then turns out to be flesh and blood. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
no, I get that. I understand.
This is why you never see baby pigeons. They're drones. Machines don't give birth. You know, they don't have babies, so that's why you never see them. There's other things you need to think about. When you try to approach wild birds, why is it that they just watch you until you get very close, and then they fly off? You can never get close to a wild bird
because they're government controlled.
Exactly, they know they're watching you already, right? And so as soon as you get close, obviously they don't want you to capture their technology, so they fly away. I mean, it's only just obvious. I mean, they've been hiding this stuff in plain sight. Do you know what bird droppings are, for instance?
Go on, tell me.
Have you ever seen the corrosion on a car battery?
Yes, I've seen the corrosion on car fucking bonnets from bird shit.
Yeah, but have you seen the corrosion on a car battery? You see, what the birds are actually doing is ejecting from the machine the corrosion from the batteries that occurs because of all the weather and all that.
Right.
It just stands to reason. Think about it.
Fuck off. You don't believe. Listen, Crinkle, you don't believe this shit at all. Don't fucking don't have me on. Come on.
Another thing, how do they charge up? You might wonder how the hell, if this is true, how do they charge up? Well, it's very simple. Have you ever seen lines of birds, right, lined up on power lines?
Yeah, of course I have.
Yeah, they've got inductive coils in their feet, and they charge like magnetically, you know, like a phone charger, even I'm magnetic charger.
Listen, Crinkle, even I'm going to call you out on this, right? There ain't no technology available in the world that acts like actual birds. There is none.
Well, of course there is.
There isn't.
I mean,
no, there isn't.
Well, you only have to look back in history, right, about technology that the military have decades in advance of us. I mean, it's not that they've got battery technology, you know, 2 leaps ahead of us already. They've got light materials, you know, like carbon, graphene, and all the rest of it.
I don't disagree with you.
Birds are drones. Just look at a bird's eye, for instance, right? Why does it look exactly the same as the lens on the camera lens on the back of your phone?
Listen, I do not disagree with you. But what I'm saying is there is no fucking technology on this planet at the moment that is able to imitate a bird. Okay? Well, there is you know, you think about how a bird works. Okay, and it's fucking, you know, flapping the wings and all the rest of it. There is nothing on earth that can imitate that at the moment, as far as I'm concerned. I understand what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to knock you, right? Because I don't. That's one thing I don't do is knock people on their opinions. What I'm saying is I have not seen a single piece of technology that would imitate a bird at the moment.
Well, you must have seen the robot dog they've developed, and now they've strapped a machine gun to it.
Look how the dog works. The dog fucking.
Well,
do you know what I mean? It doesn't act like an actual animal.
Well, this is a prime example, right? During World War II, we had developed radar before the Germans, right? And every time they came over to Britain in their planes, they were always met by many more planes, and they couldn't figure out. They thought because they weren't aware that we had radar, right? And had developed it. They thought we had thousands of times more planes than we actually did, just because we knew where they were. That's an example of hidden technology that, you know, we don't know about yet, that the military have got and the governments.
Maybe it has. You know,
think about, you know, like, you must have heard of Johns Hopkins University.
Yeah, absolutely.
These people who receive government funding, and they're involved in some things that people think, guess what? Right? How can this be a coincidence? Their mascot, guess what it is?
Go on.
A blue jay bird.
Right.
I mean,
again, and I'm not trying to knock you. Don't take this the wrong way, okay? And anybody that's watching this will know that I will accept other people's opinions on stuff. I don't see how anybody could have the technology to imitate such things at the moment. Even with regards to birds, I know they have drones that sort of imitate insects in a way,
right.
But
there you go.
But it doesn't imitate it properly. It might have it might have a great fucking way of moving, but it doesn't imitate insects to a T. Okay, and my problem with regards to things like that is that I need to know that something 100% sort of imitate something before I can say that it does. And at the moment I can't see any technology that imitates an animal as such in that respect.
Okay.
But go on.
Before I change the subject, right? Couple of things you need to think about on this topic, right? Which kind of animals fall to sleep standing up? I mean, unless it's a machine.
Well, cows.
Another thing,
apparently, cows are supposed to. Horses are
they
supposed
sit
to.
down. I've seen them sitting down, and they sleep sitting down. I mean,
apparently,
standing up.
But they're
supposed
what kind of
crazy.
They're supposed to sleep standing up, but yet we see various animals laying down. Now,
I mean, what kind of animals sleep standing up? I mean, apart from cows, all birds, right? I mean, it's kind of obvious they haven't put a sleep mode into it, and they just park them up and stand them up, and we think they're asleep, but that's nonsense. They're still watching. Anyway, just a couple of things to throw out there to get people thinking about this stuff, because it's serious. This is government surveillance we're talking about. Right, they charge up on power lines. Why do birds, what kind of animal flies or travels 1,000 odd miles every winter just to come back to their own where they live, unless they're being swapped out, serviced and put back into circulation, right? Okay, what else we got? Why do birds sound like R2D2, for fuck's sake? Like,
do you know what? I'm really confused. Do you know what? You're
yeah?
really confusing me at the moment, because last week you was telling me how much that fucking, people that say stuff like that are fucking mental. And now you're saying that people that say stuff like that are perhaps telling the truth.
Well, I've looked into other evidence. This is just evidence everyone can check and join the dots, right?
Go on.
But when you do your own research, you'll find the documents out there, the interviews by ex-CIA and all that. But I'll just reel off a couple more of these, and then I'll just go on to something else, right?
Okay.
Why do birds sound like R2D2 if they're not bloody machines like R2D2? And when they are singing, all that songing, yeah, it's complicated, isn't it? Like,
of course.
Like that is them sending information between the birds, right, from one bird to another. Because if one bird needs a certain bit of information, another bird will transmit it by song, so that it can be stored in one place on the other bird, right?
Okay.
So, I mean, that's obvious. When you walk out your house, why are there always birds on the roof looking at you? They're just waiting for people to come out their doors, right?
Let me be honest, Crinkle, okay? I feel at the moment like you're taking a piss, right? Don't get me wrong. I don't mean to be disrespectful.
I'm serious. I'm being serious.
From how you've been in the past to how you are today, I genuinely feel like you're taking a mickey.
Well,
Genuinely.
see, this is how I feel with some of the other wacky stories, but I've got a lot of evidence to back me up.
Okay.
And, I've joined the dots, I've done the research, and, I mean, there's nothing about it that's out of place. 2 more things, and then I'll move on, right?
Okay.
Right. When you find a feather on the floor, right, if you were to pick that feather up, hold it above your head, and then drop it, you see that it kind of goes slowly down to the ground, right?
Yeah, go on.
If birds are made of feathers, right, how is it, right, that a peregrine falcon can travel at 240 miles an hour downwards if it's made of feathers? And one last thing, when birds of prey, right, birds of prey are just the apex drones, right? And what they use birds of prey for is to attack other birds that need taken out of service. And so they swoop down and take them away. That's what a bird of prey really is.
Right.
So
why do you... So let me ask you, Kringle, why do you think that might be the case? Considering, without being disrespectful, considering everything you've said over the past few weeks, why do you think that might be the case now compared to how you thought previously?
Well, the evidence I've seen, right? Also, I know there's a need for governments to keep us under surveillance, to track our movements, to listen in to conversations. I mean, what better way to do it than hidden in plain sight? Birds who you don't even blink twice when you see a bird. What a great way. Governments are very clever in this sense. That's one reason why they may be there. Another reason is the evidence I found online, leaked CIA documents, also other evidence, like in the Cold War, right, when they were saying we're spending all this money on nukes, nuclear bombs. What they were really doing is siphoning that money away and spending it on the bird cull program to replace all the birds. I mean, who has ever seen a nuke?
Okay.
Have you ever seen a nuke?
Answer me a question. Why are you saying this now, considering how you've been for the last few weeks? I'm not knocking you. Don't take this the wrong way. But why say this now?
Well, the reason is, like I said at the beginning, I went away to research some what I think are conspiracy theories, and then I came across this one, which I thought at first, this is too ridiculous to be real. But then on further inspection, like Hitler said, that the bigger the lie, the more people will believe it. The more ridiculous it might sound, the more plausible it becomes, if you see what I mean. And so people will just dismiss it. But when you really look into it, it is the most plausible of these conspiracy theories.
Okay, well, let me just explain very quickly. What you're saying, if you're blagging, if you're bullshitting, if you're trying to make a fool of me, okay, and I don't care if you are, don't get me wrong, please don't take this as a knock, okay, because I'm not knocking you at all. If this is a bullshit, a blag, trying to mock me, people that are watching this will turn against what you've got to say even more.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Oh no, I've been saying this on other streams, Dan. It's not just you, mate.
So please don't take this as please do not take this as a knock. I'm not knocking your opinion, as I've never done. Okay, I've always, when we've spoken before, I've always said how I feel. Okay, and I've let you say your part as well. If you're trying to mug me off in this respect, the people that are watching this will turn against it even more. Okay.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So
fair enough.
Please don't take this as don't take this
obviously,
as the wrong way. I'm trying to be completely honest with you here.
Oh, I know. I hold full responsibility for what I say, so you don't need to remind me of that. But anyway, that's the bird thing, right? And I implore people to look into it. There's documentaries on YouTube. There's all sorts about it online. I mean, why hasn't anyone heard of this? I'm baffled. and why people like who that geezer has on his radio show ain't heard about this baffles me. But anyway, right, enough about the birds. Have you had your jab?
It's not. I don't.
Well,
Listen, I don't mind talking about birds. In fact, I quite enjoy talking about birds.
Well, I've said what I need to say about birds. If I carry on, I'll just be repeating myself. So,
Go on, crack
you
on.
know, I just want to ask if you heard you say something earlier. You don't know the long-term effects, so that's a reason why you're not having it. Is that right?
Yeah, one of the reasons. Yeah.
Yeah. Could you also agree that we don't really know the long-term effects of the virus?
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
could you also agree that all the effects of the virus are far more dangerous than all the effects of a vaccine?
Not necessarily.
Well,
and the
I mean,
reason I say that, Crinkle, the reason I say that is because the woman who discovered the new the Omicron, who is the head or one of the heads of the African Medical Association, has said herself that there is very little chance of this being dangerous. She has said herself that that the chances of this being, you know, a serious concern is very small.
Right. Okay, well, let me say a few things to that.
Please do.
Please do. And tell me if logically, you know, I'm right. Using logic, critical thinking, right? We know that virus, the new strain, is probably going to turn out to be about 1/3 as virulent, so 1/3 as deadly, right?
Possibly.
But the data isn't fully in yet, so it still could turn out to be more virulent, but I'll give you that, right? Let's just assume that it's going to be less virulent.
I agree that the data at the moment is 100% conclusive. Right. But what I will say, just to clarify my position, is that the person who discovered the new variant is a member or one of the heads of the African Medical Association.
Yeah.
And she has said on multiple occasions that we should not be panicking about this particular variant.
Of course. Yeah, I agree with her and I agree with you on that. So we're quite settled on that point, right? Okay. Now, so let's say it's 1/3 less virulent. Let's just assume that any virus that's 1/3 less virulent than the original one is 3 times more transmissible.
Okay.
What will that do to the numbers of deaths? Would it increase them or decrease them as a whole? If you take in the transmissibility, gone up 3 times, and then the virulence has gone down 3 times.
I would suggest it levels itself out.
Right, it levels itself out.
Yeah.
Okay.
As well, it is at the moment. All the data, what they're saying, what they're suggesting at the moment, I would suggest it levels itself out.
So that would make it equal in numbers of deaths, right, to the Delta variant.
Well, it depends whether or not what we've been told is the truth or not.
Well, okay. So you believe the South African medical teams when they're telling you it's less virulent.
Okay.
But the South African medical teams are also telling us, and the data bears this out, right? Thousands of cases and all the data's coming in, that it's not just 3 times more transmissible, it's 8 times more transmissible. So just by virtue of that fact alone, that would make it more dangerous, right? It's less virulent, but more people will get it in a shorter amount of time.
I wouldn't suggest...
So we kind of agreed that it would cancel out, but now you have to agree then, if this is the data coming out of South Africa, this is what they're telling us out of South Africa, though. The same woman tells us it's more transmissible.
They're saying it's more transmissible. I wouldn't say, based on the evidence at the moment, that it's more dangerous. Now, I might be wrong.
No, it isn't.
Don't get me wrong. I may well be wrong. But from what I've read and what I've seen at the moment, I wouldn't suggest it's more dangerous.
Right. Well, like we said, just using logic and reason, if something is 3 times less deadly, but it is 3 times more transmissible, so that 3 times as many people will catch it in a certain period of time.
Okay.
We've already agreed using logic that will sort of cancel itself out and be the same as it is. Yeah?
Well, yeah.
Right.
Based on what we're being told.
Yes. Well, they're telling us it's less deadly, less virulent, right? But they're also telling us, the very same people are telling us it's 8 times more transmissible. And all the data, you can check this as well. The data says it's less virulent, but the data also says it's 8 times more transmissible. And if you want to doubt the transmissibility, there's also other data which makes it a bit more dangerous. And this is to do with the number of mutations, right, which renders all the current vaccines 30% effective, as opposed to, on average, 80% effective. So we've got 2 things pushing to make it more dangerous, and only 1 thing pushing to make it less dangerous. So when you factor everything in and think about it just logically, critical thinking, you could easily make the argument that this thing could turn out to be more deadly. Not deadly as in more likely to kill you, but more deadly when you factor in the rate of transmission and how it is not as effective. I mean, it's more effective against the vaccines. When you factor all of that in, critical thinking, using logic and rational thinking, it could very well turn out to be more dangerous as a whole.
But it could also turn out to be less dangerous. We still haven't got at the moment the evidence to prove one way or the other.
Well, no, the evidence is so far the evidence says, and all the data bears out what I've said: 8 times more transmissible, 3 times less deadly.
Let's be honest. What we've been told suggests that it's more dangerous.
Yeah, this is the data coming. No, hang on, right? What you do, the data is out there for everybody to look at. All that is raw data,
Okay.
Number of people with COVID, number of deaths,
which apparently, and excuse me for, please forgive me for interrupting you, but apparently the information that we're being told from places that are government funded is worse, is what you're saying. The places that we are government funded are giving us this information. These are not not independent. Crinkle, please. We are not being told by independent places. We are being told by places that are government funded in one way or another that this is bad.
Hang on a minute. So where that information you said to me at the beginning about some woman in South Africa who works for their medical people, you're giving that credence, right? So that's okay, that bit of data. But the other bits of data that I'm telling you about, which come from the same place, all of a sudden you're trying to discredit that. Is that right?
No, not at all. Not at all. I will listen. I will listen to anything. I will listen to any information from pro or con. Okay, virus.
Right,
pro or con virus, I will listen to, and I will make my own decision. So far, Crinkle. Let me just quickly explain, and I'll let you say exactly what you've got to say afterwards. From what I've seen so far, okay, we are being stifled. We are being told or threatened by the government. We're not allowed to say certain stuff against the vaccine. Okay? Whereas from South Africa, she's turning around and she's saying this virus isn't as bad as being made out. Okay? You shouldn't be fucking, you don't need to put in these restrictions, for example. There is no need for it. Okay, I have no reason at the moment to disbelieve her over what our government is saying. And the reason being is because our government seem to have an agenda, and that is to stop people arguing against them. Okay, is to make people agree with them. Okay, which I don't agree with. Don't get me wrong. I don't agree with being forced to agree or disagree with something. I think everybody should be given the information and allowed to make their own personal choice, their own personal decision. That is what I agree with.
Well, hang on a minute.
At the moment, our government are saying, "Oh, we must panic. But
hang on. One sec.
How can you make the government and the person who discovered the new variant has turned around and said, "There's no need to worry. There's no need to panic." Well, now, please go ahead. Go on.
Right. First of all, we kind of agreed with each other that we don't know, right, whether or not the virus will turn out to be more or less deadly in the end. Yeah? So it's not clear. Would you agree with that?
I agree that we do not know the end result.
We don't know the end result. So it could go more,
one way or
it could
the
end
other.
up being more deadly or less deadly as the data comes in. Okay.
I agree.
Well,
my personal opinion is I agree with that.
Right. So what's wrong then with a government taking the precaution to take measures now, so in case it is more virulent and more deadly, they're taking measures now, lockdown and all that stuff, just in case, because they don't want deaths on their hands. What's wrong with them doing that?
There's nothing wrong with taking steps, but what is wrong is forcing people. And that is what's happening at the moment. I feel that we are being forced to make a decision, and that is wrong, in my opinion.
Well,
we should be allowed to make our own decision based on the pros and the cons that we are being fed. But the problem is, Crinkle, we're not being fed the pros and the cons. We're being fed. We're being fed the cons. We're not being told. Yeah, of course we are. Of course we are. We're being fed the dangerous side of things. Okay, which is the worst case scenario. Which, look, you've got to agree with me. At the moment, the government are basing their predictions on the worst case scenario. Don't tell me that I'm wrong, because that's what they're doing.
Well, hang on though. Right, we've already established about it's probably going to turn out to be less virulent, but then the data shows from the data's out there for anyone to look at. The data collectors just collect data and they publish it, right? Okay. So that's thousands of doctors, lots of hospitals. They publish the people who've got COVID, the amount of deaths and all the rest of it. So anybody can go out there, gather all that data together, and then plot a graph to see what the trends are and, whether it's more or less deadly and all the rest of it.
Okay.
That data shows, right, from numerous sources, independent and government funded, doctors all over the world in all these different countries who can discuss this. I mean, you can just have a basic look on YouTube and find numerous different people who are all saying the same thing.
The problem is, Crinkle.
Hang on.
Go on.
One sec. It's 8 times more transmissible, and from the data, unless everybody's lying, this data, is correct, unless everyone's lying to make it a fraud, which I very much doubt, right? That it's 30% less effective, the vaccines against this virus. I mean, sorry, it's only 30% effective rather than 80, right? Unless all of that is made up, then you have to accept, really, that the government, it does look like it's going to turn out to be worse, and they're saying this is what it looks like, and so we're taking good precautions here because we don't want deaths on our hand, because if they didn't and there were thousands of deaths on their hands, people would be in uproar. And lastly, you said people need to make a personal decision. Basically, people can't go out there, interpret scientific data with all its nuances, add up and do the graphs, and then come back and say, well, I've looked at all the data and I'm making the personal decision that I'm not going to lock down. That's ridiculous. You have to, at some point, rely on the testimony of an expert witness, like doctors.
Look, you say that's ridiculous, but however, let's be honest, people's opinions are 100% legitimate. Okay, if somebody's opinion, is against yours, it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It means that that's their opinion and they believe in that, and we have to respect that.
Hang on, though. Yes, someone's opinion could be Elvis is still alive.
Yeah,
There's certain opinions can contradict facts, and when that happens, that's when things can get a little bit dangerous, right?
I won't lie. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I will not lie. The opinions do sometimes contradict the facts. However, the facts that we're being fed, okay, let's be honest, the facts that we're being fed are coming from government sources.
Well,
please don't don't tell me that I'm wrong, because I'm not. Government sources are delivering the facts.
Well, let's dissect it a little bit, because first of all, I'd like to say, just as we are forced to wear seatbelts in cars for safety, right? And if you break that, you can end up in prison or whatever. We're forced also not to drink and drive.
Yeah,
so there are some things we agree that the government can force us to do, and they got legitimate reasons.
Let's face it. If Prime Minister got caught not wearing his seatbelt, do you think that would be? Do you think that would be plastered over the news?
Well, I don't. Probably, yeah.
I don't.
Well,
I don't.
Something
as simple as not wearing a seatbelt.
Well, hang on. That was done. Well, that was done with Prince. What's his name? Philip. Yeah, and also the papers love to plaster, MPs, royalty, and all that. Breaking the law.
Sometimes they do.
Prince Andrew and his sex case and all this stuff.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Let's look at Prince Andrew and his sex case stuff. Look how much they're trying to cover that up. Let's be honest.
I don't know.
Yes, I agree sometimes.
It's not like it's not being reported in the papers.
Henry, I won't disagree with you. Sometimes, yes, it is reported, and it's reported a lot. Okay, I won't disagree with that. But sometimes it's hidden. Sometimes it's hidden behind a veil of secrecy. Okay, and that's what we're seeing at the moment with regards to something as serious as child abuse. Okay, Henry, not Henry, fucking, child, whatever his fucking name is, I can't remember, but whatever that cunt's name is, Andrew. So I apologise. Andrew is behind a veil at the moment. We're not allowed to speak about it. It's being fucking classed as conspiracy, and it's being hidden from the public, even though that twat vaccine is fucking in court at the moment with what is possibly the biggest child abuse case of the century, and yet nothing is being fucking shared on social media, on national platforms. Let's be honest.
Well, there is a reason. You cut things that are going to court and all that, there are rules over whether or not you can discuss that in the media because of prejudicing cases. So
of course,
don't get too hung up on that. What I want to say is,
there's nothing in the law that stops people having an opinion.
Okay, let me just say though, there's nothing in the law that stops people having an opinion, and I agree. What you read in the media, they like to make headlines. You know, they want sensational stuff. So, you know, that just creates more confusion, in my opinion, over things like COVID. So I would never go to the Daily Mail, for instance, to get my information about COVID. And anyone who thinks it's not biased and that's really the truth is basically a bit cuckoo, right? Okay. So we're all most of us in this country got access to the internet. We got access to scientific papers, doctors' reports. We can all follow some expert doctor on YouTube nowadays. So we can ask our own GPs, right, about the details to do with COVID.
Whether or not we're given the truth or not, speaking to our own GPs is another matter. But go on.
Well, you know, to claim that GPs are lying to you is really, that really is an opinion that, I mean, it's not based in evidence. There's no evidence to back that up.
You're
There's no reason
right.
why.
Let me just
and all the messages from all GPs, it's all consistent,
Henry,
you know. So if one's lying, it would show up.
Let me just confirm. You're absolutely right. It is an opinion. Let me just make that perfectly clear to everybody that's watching this. That is an opinion. That GPs are being quiet is my opinion. Whether you believe it or not is neither here nor there. Based on what I'm saying.
Well, just what I want to get clear though is just this thing about, yes, everyone's entitled to an opinion, and in their own person's mind, an opinion is completely valid. Yeah, you can think what you want.
But is it?
It's when it goes against, you know, mountains of data and evidence that an opinion can become a bit dangerous. Like, for instance, the idea that, you know, it's not dangerous to walk around unvaccinated, that you're not putting other people's lives at greater risk as well as your own. It's those kind of opinions which go against all the evidence, yeah, that if you are unvaccinated, you are far more likely to get the virus, and you're far more likely to spread it to a lot of other people compared to if you were vaccinated. That kind of opinion puts me, my own life, me, and everyone else at greater risk of death.
I understand
that opinion should be allowed, yeah? I think some people should be forced into having vaccines and all the rest of it.
I understand
for that very reason. That's an opinion that's wrong, based on the evidence.
But, and don't get me wrong, I appreciate and I accept your opinion. Okay, I will never knock you for opinion, the same as I will never knock anybody for their opinion on this channel. But people that believe the vaccine is dangerous, okay, that is their opinion, and they should not also be knocked for their opinion. They, you know, once the information is out there, okay, the pro and the con for a particular vaccine. Once that information is out there, it should be left out there, and it should be left to the individual to make a decision. Do you not agree? Do you not agree that personal choice is an important thing?
Well, really, I think education is the key. If you've decided, right, that you're not going to have the vaccine because in absolute terms it can kill people, right? What you have to realise, and you have to bring more information in to make a proper decision on this, what you have to realise, and it's only basic critical thinking, basic logic again, eventually, right, COVID will get you, right? My old saying is COVID gon' get you, right?
Well,
so basically
maybe it will, maybe
everyone
it
will
won't.
get it if it hangs around long enough, which by all accounts it seems it is, and it's also getting more transmissible. It will eventually get you, right? I think we could.
And don't get me wrong,
Just like a
Henry,
cold and the
please,
flu has pretty much got
again,
everyone, yeah?
and I will say this again, and I'll keep saying this. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking you. Okay, maybe it will, maybe it won't. Now, I've been unvaccinated. I do not wear a mask. I don't go out that often. Let's be honest. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. Okay, the reason I don't go out often is because of my anxiety. Okay, this is easy for me because I can cut people off. When I'm out in public, it is a lot harder for me to cut people off. Okay, so I try not to go out in public as much as possible. Okay, that is my own choice. That is due to my own personal mental health issues. Okay, so I'm not knocking you. I'm not knocking anybody. All right, but our personal choice out there is what matters. If we're told by the government, oh, we've got to be scared, we've got to be scared, we've got to be frightened, we've got to be shitting ourselves because of X, Y, and Z. But just because people aren't, doesn't mean that they're wrong. It doesn't mean they're right, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't mean that they're wrong. Okay, there's nothing conclusive, as far as I can see at the moment, that suggests that Omicron, for example, is as deadly as the government are making out. There's nothing that I can see personally that has proved to me beyond a reasonable doubt that Omicron is as deadly as they're making out.
Well,
Now,
obviously, I mean,
can you prove
well, they're
me
not gonna.
otherwise?
Hang on, they're not gonna wait to find out that it's more deadly before they take action, or it's gonna kill more people.
Right.
I mean, that's ridiculous. You have to take, preemptive action in order to, try to prevent yourself from getting it.
Understandable.
And what was I going to say about I've forgotten now. I had a good train of thought, but I've forgotten. Carry on.
Look, I get that. I get what you're saying. 100%. I understand exactly what you're saying. There's no proof at the moment.
Oh yeah, I know
what
what I was going to say.
100%. There's nothing 100%.
I know what I was going to say.
There's nothing 100% that says you're going to die from Omicron, and there's nothing 100%
Well, I know what I was gonna say.
that says you're not going to die from Omicron. But from the person who discovered it, from the person who is part of our equivalent of sage. Okay, the woman who is the most senior person advising the government in Africa says there's nothing to worry about. Why is UK panicking so much? Why do you think that is?
On. I don't think the UK are spreading fear or panicking in that way. The government's message isn't a panicked one, in my opinion. It's maybe in the media, yeah, but this decision that you've decided you're not going to have the vaccine.
Yeah.
Where I was going before is eventually, if it stays around long enough, which it looks like it's going to be around for a while.
Yeah.
Eventually, you will get COVID, just like other respiratory diseases like the flu and a cold. Eventually, it gets you. I don't know anyone who hasn't had that, so
let me just
and
say,
you'll be very lucky if it don't. Right? Hang on, just one sec.
No. I'm going to agree with you.
Okay, good.
I believe personally. I believe that there is a virus out there. Okay, I believe that 100%. People watching this may disagree with me, and that is fine. Right. But I personally agree that there is a very what's it called? A fucking
virus out there.
Virus out there that is Omicron or COVID or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
But I do not agree that it is as bad as being made out.
Right. Okay.
But please go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So you agreed that it's out there, and we'll probably all get it at some point, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, if you look at the numbers of deaths and all the rest of it, from getting COVID so far, it shows itself in the data. All the evidence says it's far more dangerous. Yeah, many orders of magnitude more dangerous.
What we're told.
The vaccine, right?
Only what we're told.
Now, looking at the deaths from the vaccine, right? If you compare that number, to the number of people who die from eating peanut butter, right? It's about the same. So if we figured out that peanut butter protects us against COVID, and we gave it to everyone in the UK, you'd see the same number of deaths, right, from people eating the peanut butter.
Trust me, I would eat peanut butter. I think it's fucking disgusting. But go on, carry on.
Then we have to accept, right? We are choosing between, because we know everyone will get it eventually. We're choosing between taking a vaccine, which has an extremely high likelihood of keeping us out of hospital and out of a coffin, right? Having a vaccine that is just as likely as peanut butter to kill us, or have the virus, which is probably about 20 times more likely to kill you than if you go around vaccinated.
Again,
so you're choosing between something as dangerous as peanut butter, and you've got a 90% chance of survival, right?
Yeah.
Or you go around without a vaccine, and you've got a 2% chance of death. I know which one I'm going to choose. Yeah.
You know what?
Eating a bit of peanut butter with a 90% chance of survival, and avoiding ending up dead, or taking the risk with a 2% chance of death, and also all the unknown long-term effects of the COVID, which appear to be heart inflammation, brain fog, neurological damage, also blood clotting and issues to do with that. So there's lots of long COVID effects as well, and so far the vaccine is not showing any long-term effects.
Let me tell you how I feel about that. Okay, and again, I won't knock your decision. I won't knock your belief. Okay, for me, I feel that if somebody turned around to me and said there is a 0.7% chance of you dying every time you do a live stream, okay, I would do a live stream. If somebody said there is a 99.7% chance of you being okay from a live stream, I would do a live stream.
The current figures are higher though. That was what it was in the beginning. We're talking about Delta, and we're talking about other. It's mutated quite a lot. The current. Let's Crinkle, if you just take America, right? America, for instance, which is a massive country like ours, right?
You're taking
the survival rate is only 98%.
Okay, 98%. So 2% chance that I'm going to die from doing a live stream to people and telling them how I feel. If there's a 2% chance that I'm going to die online whilst I'm talking to people, I would do a live online talking to people.
Okay. Well, and
in my opinion. And again, I'm not knocking you. Don't get me wrong. Right, I know there's people in the comments that are knocking you. All right, okay, I'm not knocking you. If you believe, if your belief is that 2% is enough for you to give up your rights, then that is absolutely, by me, that is absolutely fine.
You're forgetting something very crucial, though, Dan. You're forgetting something so crucial. This is the whole point.
Go on.
Yeah. Your chances of death actually might might be even less than 2%. This is an average for America, right? And this is with all the measures in place, all the treatments and everything, is still 2%, right? You might not, you may have a much less chance of dying, but then again, you may have a greater chance with any underlying issues you've got.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, it's about doing your civic duty, about living in a society where you think about other people as well as yourself, right? Because there are people out there who are extremely vulnerable to dying from the virus, and the fact the more people don't get vaccinated,
let those people, let those people that are that vulnerable,
let me just finish
let
the
them
sentence.
stay at home.
Hang on, yeah, but even if they're at home, right, by numerous people not having a vaccine, that the more people that do it increases the risks of the virus hanging around and you being able to spread it to these vulnerable people. Yeah, you might not spread it directly to somebody at home, but you could spread it to someone at the supermarket who then they take it home to their parents, or they take it somewhere where it infects a lot of old people who all die from it.
But we might not. Maybe somebody else does that. Maybe somebody else gives them the fucking virus.
But, taking it as a whole and averaging things out, the more people in a society where there's a virus going around who don't have the vaccine, the more likely it is that more people will die. That's basically just a fact that all the data from every bloody, every pandemic and every epidemic has shown since we've been measuring it. If you're not having something that treats the virus, it has more chance of getting out of control and killing more people. It's just a fact. So really, you're increasing the risk of putting other people into intensive care.
Where's the information coming from? It's coming from the government. Where's the information coming from?
No,
of course
it's not.
It is.
It's coming from.
This is coming from places. Look, Crinkle.
No.
Right. This is coming from people and places that are paid by the government.
No.
Of
this
course
is coming
it
from.
is. Come
this
on.
is coming from independent doctors.
It's
paid
not.
doctors.
They're not independent. They're not independent.
You see.
The independent
this is your
doctors.
only defence now.
The independent doctors. Crinkle. The independent doctors are giving both sides of the stories. The independent doctors are giving both sides of the stories. The places, the people that are paid by the government are giving a certain description, are giving a certain narrative. Okay, this is why we've got people...
Dan, that's nonsense. No,
but it is though. Crinkle, come on.
No, the data is out there, right? The data is just raw data, right?
Is it
anybody, if they so wish, right, can go and gather all that same data from all the different sources all over the world and do their own analysis of it. There are doctors online who, in my opinion, are slanted towards, freedom of choice and all that. But even they will tell you, I recommend the vaccine because I know what it gives. It seems to me now we've dissected a few things and had rational, logical, analysis of certain things and thought about all this stuff. Your only defence now is to say they're all lying. That's
one
like
thing
an
I won't do.
Attack.
You're
trying to attack
Crinkle.
the source of the information now. It's not the government, Dan. It's doctors. Doctors are saying this. And you said earlier that the one in South Africa, you agree with her on one point that suits your narrative, but you're rejecting all the stuff that goes against your narrative. I'm accepting it all.
Listen to me. One thing I will not do is try and persuade people one way or the other. I will share. Okay, if somebody says to me and they've got absolute proof that the jab is not responsible for deaths or is not responsible for bad fucking heart problems, for example, If somebody proves that to me, I will say that on this channel. I will never, ever give advice that people should follow in respect to that. Okay.
Yeah, Dan, though.
I will always say to
you're never going to get any proof that says the vaccine
but the thing
won't kill you in certain circumstances.
I
You've got to weigh up
understand.
the probability between
I understand
what the virus will do to you and what the vaccine will do to you, and you're far, far, far safer.
Listen, I understand that. I understand that.
Taking your chances with the virus.
And one thing I will never do is say to people, never get the vaccine or get the vaccine. Well, there's one thing I will never do, because the reason being I won't say that is because I do not have definitive proof one way or the other. But because I don't have proof of people saying the vaccine will save you, I will not tell people that the vaccine will save you. That is one thing I will not do. Do you understand that, though? Do you understand that? Let's be clear.
Well, no.
Do you understand that I?
No, I don't, and I'll explain why.
Okay, go on.
Right. You only get proof, right? Like 100% proof in mathematics. I can prove to you that 2 + 2 = 4, right?
Yeah, but
and I could prove it, and it's 100%.
Again, what
medicine,
you've got to realise, though. Hang on, whoa. Remember, this is my live stream. Remember, you are repeating what you've been told. Let's be honest.
No, I'm not. No, there's a way to prove it.
There is nothing at the moment, as far as I'm concerned, personally, that suggests that the problem will be solved by a vaccine. There is nothing at the moment that I have seen or proved to be 100%.
That's because you don't. That's because you haven't looked back into history. Look at smallpox. That was cleared up with a vaccine. Look at polio.
But how long did it take
all
for
these
that
other
vaccine?
Diseases?
How long did it take for that vaccine
Well, you see,
to be
this
presented?
is another argument. That's nonsense, right? It's not the time it takes to develop any drug. It's the number of people it's tested on. I keep saying the same thing. And the vaccines were tested on, AstraZeneca was tested on 70,000 people, like any drug is, right? Before it's brought to market.
But
and
that's what
they went through phase 3, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 clinical trials, just like any other drug.
Crinkle.
But there were no gaps in between.
Crinkle. That's what you was told.
No. Well, this is...
No. It was. Let's be honest.
So,
that's
hang on. All the data from that,
didn't
right,
know.
was...
Hang on. Whoa. You didn't know from your own personal experience that examining a certain amount of people, okay, what you was told is what you're repeating. Let's be honest.
Well, so hang on a minute. I mean, this is that all that data was given to the authorizing bodies, in America, all around the world, where they also examine the results of those clinical trials, and based on that evidence is how they authorize a drug or not.
Okay.
So I can only go on what evidence is out there. What you're trying to say is they've made it all up and it's all lies.
No. I'm not
what
trying
you
to say
have to
they've
do
made
is
it all
prove
up.
to me that it's lies, because that's good enough for me. They gave their results, Pfizer and AstraZeneca, to the people in government, right, that either authorize the drug for use or not. And plenty of drugs get cancelled at that stage, and they say no, it's not fit for purpose.
Okay. Let's be honest. Okay, a lot of these places that have given the go-ahead, shall we say, inverted commas, the go-ahead uses, the information that government's getting us. Okay, let's be honest. A lot of these places have been twisted, shall we say, by the fact that a lot of the people that are in that are what's the word I'm thinking of? Please forgive me, people who are watching. The people that are given credence to these prophecies, to these people, are people that are being paid by these companies. A lot of people that are given information by the government, they don't realise that the specific person that's giving them information is on the confident, which is on the fucking which is on the board of directors for specific companies. You know, for example, I could turn around to you and say to you, "Oh, get the vaccine. It's going to do you fucking great." Blah 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 blah. But I could be getting paid by Pfizer to say that shit. There's a lot of people on the government who are hang
on a minute. There's also plenty of people, and there's also probably the majority of people who would recommend the vaccine are not paid by Pfizer, like all the doctors out there.
But is there? But are these doctors not paid by Pfizer? How do we know?
Now, you see, now you're kind of saying... Well, now you're saying all doctors, they must be lying because they're paid by Pfizer. I'm not saying all doctors. That is a big... Hang on, that's a big claim that you're going to have to prove, mate. I mean, how do you know? Trust me, I'm
not saying all doctors. I'm saying there is a lot of people out there.
You know, you're saying something
that are suggesting something, that are suggesting the Pfizer, that are suggesting the fucking Omicron direct fucking postcode or whatever it is.
Let me just say one thing, Dan.
But there are a lot of people. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Mickey. I much appreciate it.
Here's a great saying for you.
That a lot that are not speaking out against what they believe.
How do you know they're not speaking out? How do you know they're not speaking out?
Because they're getting paid. It's all to do with money.
How do you know, though? How do you know that?
How do I know? Because I know that most people that get offered a certain amount of money, okay, will say whatever the fuck they're told to say. That is how I know.
But how do you know they've been given any money? How do you know that?
What do you mean, how do I know? Of course there is.
How do you...
We've been...
how do you know?
We've been proved. We've been proved right by certain companies who have no fucking background in background to do with viral fucking whatever. Okay,
could you give me the names of those companies?
Well, I can do if you give me some time. I can't do right now, but I can do if you give me some time. If you go back through my live streams, I've spoken about companies that have backed the government, but yet in paper or on paper say completely different. Okay, and that is people that say the virus is bad, the virus is bad, blah blah blah, but yet right at the moment they're saying take the virus. I've got plenty of videos that suggest. Forgive me, I can't tell you the names of the videos. Forgive me for that. I cannot, because of my brain fucking. I get brain farts. Okay, and I know that's it sounds like an excuse, but trust me, if you go through my videos, Crankle, if you go through my videos, Crankle, you'll find videos where I've spoken about this. Okay,
right.
And
have you shown the actual names of these people you're talking about, or the companies?
I can't tell you. I've got to be honest. Cannot tell you. 100%. I cannot tell you because I can't remember. Okay, and
the problem we have here,
honest with you.
I like to say a sentence and then sum it up. And
please do.
So here's a great saying from somebody who I listen to. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
Okay.
Right? on all of my live streams, everything I say, I back it up with scientific evidence from various different places, right? Which include data from hospitals, from doctors, from other scientists. Some of it's from drug companies, right? Hang on.
Hang on.
And basically, all I've seen in response...
Hang on. It's my live stream.
Right.
Let me say, which I've had to do from the start. I don't just say shit and hope people fucking take it on board without looking at it. I always try where I can to give both sides of the argument. Okay, so please remember that when saying what you're saying about giving people information. I try to let people know. If I'm not sure, I will say to people I'm not 100% sure, and I will try to give the best evidence that I can. If I'm wrong, I will say in a future video I was wrong about such and such a video. Okay, there's one thing that I am fucking point on. If I'm wrong, I will say that I'm wrong. I will never try and fucking cover up the fact that I may have said something that is wrong. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I say something that is wrong about this whole situation, I will say in a future video, look, do you know what? I was wrong, but X, Y, Z, Y, X, Y, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But I will always give people the chance to make their own decision based on the actual facts. If I'm wrong about the facts, I will make the facts known in a later video. Let me make that very perfectly clear. Okay, so if I'm wrong about something and something comes up with regards to the vaccine, shall we say, in inverted commas, I'll always make sure in a later video that I'll make myself right, that I'm honest, and I don't hide things from people. I'm very, very what's the word? I'm very sure, not sure, but that is one thing that I make sure of. If I make a mistake, I rectify myself and I let people know, the true or the facts as I know them. Yeah. Okay.
Can I just ask you, like, in your when you got a spare moment, not now, obviously, maybe tomorrow or whatever, look up something called what's it called? The allegory of the cave. Plato's allegory of the cave. It tells a really pertinent story about what's going on here and what's going on in the chat. When I come on, trying to just illuminate you a little bit with some of the evidence, of what is out there and what's real, man. I mean,
and again, I appreciate you coming on, but I need you to message me and say say that to me in a message, because at the moment, for some reason, it's not letting. I'm moving my fucking mouse, but it's not having no effect.
Okay.
So
I'll tell you what, Dan,
I'm being serious.
Thanks for having me on. I'm going to let someone else come on.
Crinkle, I appreciate you coming on. I know some people.
Took up enough of your time.
Listen, I know some people get pissed off with you coming on, but I appreciate you coming on and saying what you've got to say.
I'm glad
as I've said before, I will take anybody's opinion, okay, and I will talk about that. I would never diss anybody for their opinion, okay.
Yeah.
But your opinion at the moment, I'm moving my mouse and it's not doing fuck all. So please message me through policeabusingpowers@gmail.com. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me something to contact you on, whether it be a number or an email address or whatever, and I will contact you as soon as I possibly can.
I'll put it in the chat anyway. So.
But at the moment, it's not having no effect. I'm moving my piece, my glass right now, and it's not doing fuck all. Please.
I've put my address. I've put my email in the chat, and
Right.
thanks for having me on, Dan. It's time that I got off and let somebody
Crinkle,
else on. I've been
please
speaking
make
too
sure
long.
you email me. Okay.
Yeah, I will
Make
do,
sure-
man.
Because it's not doing fuck all with this, with it fucking glass. All right.
Yeah,
Email
cool,
me.
man.
I will contact you, and we will discuss, and we will get you back on at some point, and we will discuss
Yeah.
this in more detail. Okay.
Wicked, man.
I appreciate you calling. Thank you.
Yeah. And
right, man.
everyone in the chat, big up your COVID test, and see you again on another live stream. Thanks
right,
for
man.
having me on, Dan.
No,
you're a legend
welcome.
in the game, man. You're
welcome.
a good dude.
All right, man. You take it easy.
Yeah, man. Cheers for
All right,
having me
man.
on, buddy.
Take it.
See you
Ta-ra.
soon, man.
Ta-ta.
All right.
Listen, I apologise for that if that's taken a while. I do apologise. For some fucking reason, this is fucking up again. It's telling me that I'm playing, but then it's telling me that I'm not coming through for some reason. It's giving me a green light over here. Fuck knows what's going on. Oh, what's going on? Whoever's calling me, and the end of your number is 087. Forgive me, for some reason it's not fucking having none of it. I'm trying, but it's not taking none of it. It's not having none of it. I don't know what's going on. I'm pressing enter, I'm pressing return. It's not doing fuck all. Oh fuck me, I don't know why. I'm moving my glass. It's empty, but I'm moving my glass and it's not doing fuck all. So please excuse me while I try and sort this shit out. I think excuse me. Christ. Oh, fuck me. I can't even say words. It's not wanting me to talk to people. Fuck. Enter. It's not doing fuck all. Why the fuck ain't you working, you prick? Fuck you. Virtue. YouTube. Fuck you. Stop fucking me about, you prick. Switch off and switch off and trigger. Stop fucking me about, you fucking wank stain cunt. You fucking shitty fuck face motherfucker. It's not having none of it. I'm telling you that. It's not having none of it at all. It's doing my fucking head in. Listening to my fucking ringing. It's doing my fucking nuts in. Stop being a prick. Stop fucking about. Fuck you. See that? Fuck you. Stop fucking about and let me talk to my fucking fan. Let me talk to my people. Stop being a dick. Yeah? No, it's still wrecking me. It's still being a dick. Stop fucking with my supporters. Fuck you. YouTube. Listen, guys, I don't know what the fuck is hello, welcome. How you doing? Who am I talking to?
Hello.
Hello.
Is that Dan the man?
It is Dan the man.
Is that Dan the man who can?
Well, some people say it's Dan the man who can. Some people it's Dan the man who's the wanker. But crack on.
How is it hanging Goldilocks from the three R's? Is it hanging to the left or to the right?
It's doing all right, mate. Just slightly to the right. Just slightly, but but crack on.
Right. Have you actually had to restart your live stream because you on my screen having a funny attack here?
I don't know what the fuck was going on just then. Please forgive me if you're watching. And a headache because of what was just going on. Please forgive that. I don't know what the fuck was going on.
No
YouTube
worries,
is
Dan the
being a
man.
wanker. But crack on. Go on, my son.
Crack on. Yeah. I don't normally knock anybody's opinions are out like that. I'm like yourself, everyone's got their own opinion. So
Of
be it
course.
whether I agree with them or not. But I've noticed you've got a kitty cat.
The what?
I noticed you've got a cat.
This little fucker over here. This little
yeah,
fucker over here.
regardless.
Smoker.
Well,
Come here, you.
yeah, well,
Come here, you cunt.
I've got three. I've got three of them myself.
Yeah.
And, well, after listening to your last caller, I'm a little bit concerned about them. I think I might need to take them to vets.
Right.
You see, because one of them catches
just make
birds
sure that-
regularly and chomps down on them.
I just need to make
So
sure that
she
the
must be filled with,
excuses, just
shall we
give
say,
me a second.
microchips and whatever else. So I think I might need to take her to vets to get her seen to.
Oh, I've got to make the excuse reaches, and here's my little this is my little baby. Smudge, this is Smudge. How you doing, Smudge? Say hello. Don't be a fucking ignorant prick. Say hello. Hello, how you doing? Look, he's not really saying hello. I'm saying hello for him. He's an ignorant fucker. Say hello, you little prick. Do you know what?
Do you know how to train him?
I don't know, but what I've gathered is if you give it a good fucking whack. No, I'm joking.
No. The thing is with a cat, if you ever scream at them or out like that, they will stop trusting you.
This little fucker, right? Although he wakes me up at stupid o'clock in the morning for food, even though he's got food in his fucking bowl, which is really fucking annoying, I've got to say. He'll wake me up and he'll go, fucking give me some more food. And I'll go, hang on a minute, you prick, you got food. And he'll go, no, I don't give a fuck about that food. Give me some more fucking food. And that's what it'll be like.
Yeah.
But do you know what?
That's what cats are for you.
I love this little shit to fucking bits. I love the dogs to bits, don't get me wrong. And I feel fucking horrible that I had to give them up. But I'm so glad that the rehoming centre has managed to get them home together. I really genuinely believe, let me say that, genuinely 100%, I feel an absolute fucking wanker for having to give them up. I genuinely do. But I could not and cannot give them the genuine, the quality of life that they deserve. I really couldn't. And I feel bad for that. And I've got this little fucker here who I love to pieces. So crack on. I'm sorry for jumping over here. Please.
Hey, no worries, fella. No worries, fella. You'll crack on. It is easy to train. You could actually train him to do what you want him to do. I've got man trained where I can tap my shoulder and she'll come and sit on my shoulder and walk down the street, sit on my shoulder.
I wish this little cunt would jump on the shoulder, but he don't. He wakes me up at stupid o'clock in the morning. It goes, fucking feed me, you prick. That's what he says. He goes, fucking feed me, you absolute cunt. And I go, look, fucking fuck me, you've got food in your bowl. And he'll go, I don't give a fuck about that. Give me some fucking fresh food. So I have to feed the prick, and then I have to go to sleep and wake up a couple of hours later.
Right. On a more serious note, Dan, do you believe there's such a thing as a good police officer?
No. I wish I did, but genuinely speaking, no, I don't. That's my honest
I'm
opinion.
glad to hear you say that.
I wish 100% that I could say I believe there is such thing as 100%, but I don't, unfortunately, based on what I've seen and what I've had to deal with.
I had the same conversation with a friend of mine, and he insists that there is a good thing as good police officers. So I had to disagree with him. But no, there's no such thing as a good police officer.
Again, I won't knock somebody else's opinions. Never. I won't knock it. Okay, if somebody believes something, that's their belief, and I respect them for their belief. Personally, I don't believe there's such thing as a good police officer. The reason I don't believe that is because the amount of times I've had to report on people or police officers that have done bad things, and yet there's been a police officer with them that shut the fucked up and not given evidence against their fucking colleague. That is my reason for being so.
And that is why I say there's no such thing as a good police officer. Because if there was a good police officer and their colleague screwed up,
yeah,
he would dob them in straight away. But instead,
in my opinion, 100%. 100%. Again, I have to be careful what I say because, I've run this channel, so I have to be careful what I say. But I totally agree in respect of if a copper sees another copper do something fucked up and wrong, they will shut up about it. They won't turn around and go, oh yeah, he fucked up. They will go, oh no, he didn't fuck up at all. And they will stick up for their fucking dodgy ass fucking corrupt copper. In my opinion.
And
but, please.
I'll be honest with you, Dan. That is not your opinion. That is fact.
Okay.
That is fact. 100%. Indisputable fact. That is what they do.
Well, again, I have to be careful what I say because 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 of the channel. I have to be careful what I say because I don't want to be completely shut down. But I believe, in my own personal opinion, that many police shut the fuck up about dodgy police behaviour because they don't want to be fucking turned against by the rest of the police force. So, in other words, if a copper, that a copper you're working with is chatting up young children, for example, and you shut the fuck up, you are complicit. Okay? Just because you shut the fuck up doesn't mean, you shut the fuck up so you should be fucking appreciated or you should be fucking, bowed down to. Fuck you. If somebody does something wrong, okay, with even in my position, I will never ever tell somebody to do something that's against the law. I would always say, if you do something against the law, put your hands up, you admit to it, you fucking deal with the consequences. Okay?
Which I agree with. My attitude is exactly the same as yours.
Absolutely. You do something that fucking breaks the law, you are responsible. You suck it up, you deal with the consequences. I'm sorry for jumping on there and fucking cutting you off. Please forgive me. Carry on.
No, mate, you jump on as much as you like. It's your live stream. It's your live stream, but you jump on as much as you like.
I know, but I feel sometimes that I jump in and I get a bit carried away. And I feel, I don't want to persuade people one way or the other. I want people to make their own decision. So, however you feel, I don't want to step over the mark and make people ignore what you've got to say for what I've got to say. I want them to hear what we've got to say. So please go ahead.
Well, I'll be honest with you when I say this to you, Dan. Anybody that watches your channel will have probably the same opinion as yourself and myself against a bent copper.
In most cases, I agree with you.
So, but no, I was like I say, I just thought I'd lighten the mood up from the last couple of callers and go more towards what your channel is actually aimed at. And so the reason why I asked you, did you believe there was anything such as a good copper?
Yeah, aim towards that way, but I go and fuck it up by opening up to fucking all sorts of shit. But do you know what? Oh, fuck me, I'm empty. I'm empty.
What's wrong?
Which means I'll be giving up shortly. But anyway, for the time being, you know, I don't dismiss anybody's genuine belief. If somebody phones up and they say, Daniel, you're a fucking knobhead, this is why, and they give me information that makes me think, fuck me, I'm wrong, then fine. Absolutely, I wish somebody would do that. But at the moment, I will say how I feel. And, you know, you yourself are completely responsible for whether you believe or whether you listen to what I've got to say or whether you believe or listen to what you've been told. That is entirely your decision. I will not knock you for it. I will never take the piss out of you for it. Okay? But I will always be honest about how I personally feel. And that is the point of these live streams. Is to be completely honest with you, is to tell you how I feel, especially now I'm pissed, and I've literally got that much left of my live stream. I can't speak with fucking, you know, Coca-Cola because I've done it all. That's what I've got left. So I won't lie to you. I'll be completely honest with you. End of. I can't make up what I say. I will say what I believe. If I believe
you know what they say,
wrong,
don't you, Dad?
I will say something. Go ahead.
You know what they say?
Go on.
That the truth always comes out when someone is drunk.
Right. Well, they say that. That's what I mean. I can't lie.
Exactly.
I've drunk.
Obviously,
I've drunk a full bottle of it's only 70 milliliters, but I don't drink very often. But I've drunk a full bottle of vodka, whatever the fuck it is. Hang on, brandy. I've drunk almost a full bottle of that, and it's very difficult for somebody when they're pissed to lie. Very difficult for somebody when they're pissed to lie.
That's what I'm saying. The truth always comes out when someone is drunk. Now, obviously, if you was to be lying, it would come out on your live streams. Which
So
obviously
they
I
say.
ain't saying that's what you're doing. Obviously, no, far from that. But you see what I'm saying? When you're saying that you will only tell the truth. That's why I brought that up. That the truth always comes out when you're drunk.
Well, as I say, so they say. I can only say what I believe, and let's be honest. I'm struggling to speak properly. I'm fucked. I've drunk I've drunk a full bottle, 70 milliliters, 70 milliliters, I think that's what they call it, of brandy. I'm fucked.
Centiliters.
I'm not trying to pretend that I'm something I'm not. I'm being honest with you. Do you know what I mean? I'm fucked. I've drunk a full bottle of fucking vodka. I've had nothing to eat all day. I'm fucked out my head. Simple as.
Yeah, and you know what my advice to you would be?
Go on.
My advice to you would be to bid everyone farewell and good night and go and get yourself to sleep.
And I would suggest that is what probably many people suggest. But do you know what? I'm not going to do that. And the reason I'm not going to do that is because I want people to know that I'm being honest. I don't want people to think that I'm hiding something from them. So if
Nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks that.
You know, if I talk and I might talk shit, do you know what I mean, for a few minutes, but I might say something that makes sense. And the reason I say that, I don't want people thinking I'm talking this shit. So if I say something, I'm fucked. Let's be honest. I've had a full bottle of fucking vodka. Not vodka, Broadcandle. I've had full condor of this. Fucking hell, I can't even say it properly. I've had a full drink. Fucking hell, I can't even say it. I've drunk that, right? Brandy.
I'm reading what people are writing in the thingy now because I don't drink full stop. I don't drink full stop.
Do you know,
so I
you know what? You're right. People are saying stuff in the comments. You're absolutely right. I can't even say the word properly. And if I'm fucked, let's be honest. If I'm fucking out my head, if I'm pissed out of my brain, whatever. You know, if I'm talking shit, you'd find out because I'd say something fucking that I don't mean, and I'll go, I don't mean that, whatever. But I mean what I say. Let's have it right. I mean what I say. I say what I mean.
You mean what you say, and you say what you mean.
100%. 100%. If I've got something to say that I don't believe in, you'd know about it. Trust me, because I'd fuck up. But I say now what I mean. Okay. Therefore, what I say is what I believe. Okay. Some people, I may be wrong, as I've said before. I may be wrong in what I believe, but that's my issue. That's not somebody else's issue. That doesn't mean that somebody else should be penalised because they believe what I believe. Does that make sense?
Can I ask you a serious question, Dan?
Of course. Go on, go ahead.
Do you have any biscuits, crackers, or plain crisps or out like that at home with you?
Not at the moment, no.
No.
Not at the moment, no.
Nothing,
no
kind of snacks whatsoever?
Nothing at all.
Like that?
Nothing at all.
Well, you should really actually eat something.
I should do. Do you know what? Excuse me.
The alcohol up and make you feel a bit better.
I've been told before I need to eat something. This, you know, I've drunk almost, well, practically, I have drunk a full bottle of you know, you can see here there is a tiny amount left. I've got no fucking bidkle. I've got no fucking vodka. I've got no biscuit. You know, fucking volt. Fuck me, I can't even say the word. What's the matter with me? I've got no fucking behind me that backs me up. I've got nothing. Okay, I am genuinely
maybe have a pound of water.
Genuinely fucked right now. End of.
Now, like I say, I don't drink, man. I don't drink, so I can't talk from experience, but I can tell you what a lot of people tell me.
Yeah,
is if
go on.
Before you go to bed, when you've been drinking, if you drink a pint of water, the next day, when you wake up, you aren't feeling like crap, you've got no hangover, you're not dehydrated. Now, I don't know if that's true, but that's only what I've been told.
To be honest, once I drink this, that'll be it. right, I'll go to bed shortly after, and I'll need to because I'm fucking aching like a bastard. Truth be told, okay.
I know what that feels like, fella. I know what that feels like.
I'll-
So anyhow, on a more
I'll
serious
drink
note,
that.
how hard how have you been keeping? How are you actually getting on?
I'm okay, apart from the fact that I ache. You know, I'm not gonna fucking ask. You know, I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm not looking for anything like that. I will do what I can, but I ache. Okay, end of. This discussion. I've been talking to fucking Crinkle. About 10 minutes ago, I started aching. I started moving, but I'm using both arms, and I'm thinking to myself, "Fuck me." It's inking like a bastard, and that's how I feel.
Have you tried some deep heat?
I can't say I've tried deep heat specifically. I have tried some rub. I can't remember what it's called. I won't lie. I'll be honest with you. I can't remember what it's called. I've tried some rub, some shit in my shoulder to try and eliminate the problem, but it doesn't seem to have worked.
Well, why I ask you that is a friend of mine used to teach sports at a school.
Yeah.
And he swore by that stuff. Rubbing that on, all the aches and pains, it takes them away. He swore by it. So maybe try that.
Fuck me, that was nasty.
I mean, you've got nothing to lose, have you? Nothing to lose, only something to gain.
I agree. I agree with that. That was fucking nasty. You're as you say, I've got nothing to lose. I'll always give people the chance to say what they've got to say. If somebody phones me and if go, Dan, I want to talk about X, Y, Z, even if it's nothing to do with the conversation that we're talking about at the time, I will give people the chance to talk about what they've got to say, because that's important as far as I'm concerned.
You're right. It is important to listen to what other people have to say.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I'm asking you. How are you doing? Obviously, I know you've had a bit of a rough time of it, and to put it quite bluntly, you've had the shitty end of the stick of life just lately.
Oh, it's wank.
That's the reason why I'm asking, how are you doing?
Wank.
How are you keeping,
I'm doing okay. And when I say I'm doing okay, I'm happy. Whether it's a good thing or not, I'm happy to listen to other people's problems. Some people say to me, that's a bad thing. You need to deal with your own problems. And I understand that. I get what they're saying. But for me personally, by dealing with other people's issues, it helps me deal with mine. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but to me it makes sense.
Yeah, you know what they say about that, don't you? A problem shared is a problem halved.
Right. Well, to me, that makes sense. It's easier for me to deal with somebody else with their issue than it is to deal with my own. And I don't expect that to make sense to everybody, but it makes sense to me. It's easier for me to help other people. So if somebody's got an issue and I go, tell me about it, it's easier for me personally to deal with that and to give them advice than it is to deal with my own issues. As terrible as that may sound.
No, because I'm exactly the same kind of person myself. It's I think to be honest with you, I think what that is, it's a male problem.
Right.
Because females don't seem to have that issue. They'll go and talk to their friends and so on and so forth. But it's very rare you'll see it in a man.
Yeah, and I get that. I understand exactly what you're saying. I understand that for women, it's easier to speak to somebody and tell them how they feel.
I've been watching you now for maybe a year or so, and I have noticed a decline in the way that you've been. So
Right.
the reason why I feel I'd give her a ring, see how he was. Maybe, share a problem or two. And life will move on.
As I say, whatever somebody feels at a particular time of calling me, it's 100%. I completely agree with that. I understand and I will respect that. So if somebody phones me because they disagree with what I'm saying, I agree with that. I understand and I will respect that. And I will listen to what they've got to say. No matter what people say in the comments, whether somebody goes, they're talking shit, or it's such and such a person blagging you, or whatever it might be, I will give 100% where I can.
I agree with you there. I agree with you there, Dan, and I'll tell you for why. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and that is just the way life is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't agree with a lot of people. And does it mean to say because I don't agree with them that it's wrong? Or I'm right and they're wrong? Well, no, that's not how it works. I mean, a lot of people don't agree with some of the stuff I say or do. But just because they don't agree with it, well, that's their problem. If they don't like it, move on.
Yeah.
So, no.
Yeah.
But no, like I say, I've watched your videos for quite some time, and I've noticed a bit of a decline in your well-being, shall we put it. So I thought, well, I'll give you a ring, maybe have a bit of a chit-chat, and, share one or two problems with each other.
And I'm grateful, regardless to as I've said before, regardless whether you agree with me or disagree with me, I open the phone line for people to call me, regardless of what their belief is. Okay, and it makes for good conversation. I will never knock somebody for believing something that I don't, or for not believing there's something that I do. And I think that's what makes our live streams here on the channel. I think that's what makes us unique in a way, because a lot of people will turn around and go, "Fuck you! You don't agree with me. See you later," and they'll cut them off. I won't. I'll give people. I try and give people 10 minutes. Sometimes they get longer.
Yeah, I noticed that tonight.
But my aim is to give people a specific amount of time to put across their argument. And whether I agree with them or not, I will let them say what they've got to say. I might not agree with them, and I will sure as shit make sure that they know that I don't agree with them. Don't get me wrong. But as I say, everybody has a right to their belief or their disbelief, as far as I'm concerned.
Which is correct.
Although many platforms don't agree with such, I think that everybody should have the right to hear every side of the argument and make an informed decision. And that is where I come from on this channel. If you believe me or not, whether you disbelieve what I've got to say or not, it makes no difference to me. We'll get you on, we'll chat to you, we'll talk to you, we'll hear your argument, you'll hear our argument, and we'll come to a discussion. Whether we agree or not.
I wouldn't exactly call it an argument. What I would say is, if I disagreed with something you said, or you disagreed with something I said, I wouldn't call that an argument.
Yeah.
I would call that a debate.
Well, generally, yes. But the way things are at the moment, it is classed as an argument, isn't it? Let's be fair. If I said something, if you agree with the jab, great. that's entirely
No,
down
I
to
don't
you.
agree. I'll be honest with you. No, I don't agree with it.
No, I get that, but what, just as an example, if you agreed with it, then fine. I understand that you agree with it, and I will respect that. But I will give my argument against. Okay, I will listen to your argument for, but I will give my argument against, and that is the way things are at the moment, as far as I'm concerned. As you said, you give your arguments against. You've got your pro and con argument. Okay, and I get that, and I'll listen to that. I won't diss you. I won't knock you. I won't take the piss out of you. I'll listen to what you've got to say.
Which I agree with, like I say, and everyone's entitled to their own opinions.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's just sad that some people feel entitled to their opinion over everybody else's. But unfortunately, that's the world we live in now.
Yeah.
Shall I say, I'm of how can I put this? Rather a mature displacement of my age, and I'm probably a few years older than yourself. So yours and my time when we grew up, we was used to being told, no, you can't have this. Or I'll put it a different way to you. When I grew up, it was a case of mend, make do, or go without.
Yeah.
And you're not. I shouldn't really make these assumptions, but I'm assuming you would be roughly in my age group.
From the sound of things, I'm not far off. to be honest.
Well, let's just put it. I was born the very, very early 70s.
Right. Yeah.
So,
very close then.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm of that age group. So, but no, a lot of people these days, especially the younger generation, it's a case of it's their way or no way.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't agree with, but to be honest with you, it's their option. If I don't agree with it, I'll just quite happily walk away and, water off a duck's back to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I've said this before. You get to a certain age, and you think, you get to a point where you just think, fuck it. A duck's off the back, a duck off a back, whatever you want to call it.
Water off a duck's back.
Water off a duck's back. Yeah, that's the one. But you get the other side that is like, and there ain't no need for it. There's, fuck it. Whatever, if somebody doesn't agree with you, fuck it, don't agree with you. Don't get fucking worked up over it and make it an issue out of it, because then you're dealing with an issue for 24, 48, 36 hours. You're like that. When most people are like, fuck it.
Like I say, me personally, Dan, I have 3 children, and unfortunately, I have 2 girls and a lad. Now, unfortunately, my lad is way too much like I was when I was his age. And no matter what I say, he seems to think his argument is the only one that's correct.
Yeah.
And everything else is wrong. Well, no, unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. Sorry, young lad.
Right. Well, again, it's easy for us to say, we're right, you're fucking wrong. It's easy for us to say that. The hardest point,
you're right.
Is, the hardest thing is to say, I get what you're saying, but X, Y, Z. This is why I believe, we should think the way that we should think. It's easy to, so many people go, fuck you, and ignore that shit. and
which is exactly the same thing I do, Dan. I do say that. On numerous occasions, I've actually laid evidence down in front of them and said, look, this is why I'm saying what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And of course, all the evidence is wrong.
Yeah, they see these people that are coming at evidence with them. They go, "Oh, fuck you! You don't know what you're talking about. The government know what they're talking about. Fucking blah blah blah." But again, you need to be able to give both sides of the argument, not just one side, which is what's being done at the moment. We need to give both sides of the argument and say, "Look, that's the information. Make your own decision." If they decide at that point that they want the vax, fine. Do you know what I mean? That's their decision. We have to be there for them, regardless to what they decide, as parents.
Well, that I agree with. Like I say, I have 3 children, 2 girls and a boy.
Yeah.
One of my girls works in social care, and before this mandatory jab came in, she did come to me and speak to me about it, and I explained to her, look, that's your choice. You make that decision yourself.
Yeah.
And that way then, if anything happens untoward, the only person you can blame for that is yourself. I ain't saying don't take it, and I ain't saying take it, because if you don't take it and something happens, you're going to blame me for me saying don't take it. And if you take it and something happens, you're going to blame me for saying take it.
Yeah.
That is a decision you and you alone can make.
100%. Yeah.
Do you see where I'm coming from on that?
Oh, of course. Look. We have to let people make their own decision. Even with our children own decision. We don't want them to, because we want them to make the right decision. But we have to. We'll let them take their own decision. We have to step back and be there for them to recover from the decision that they make. Whether they make the right decision. We might be wrong. Don't get me wrong. We may be wrong. We might be saying that the vax is dangerous, blah blah blah. We could be wrong. But from what we've seen so far, we don't, we're probably right based on what we've seen so far. But we have to let our children make the decision. So if our child turns around and goes, fuck you, I'm not listening to what you've got to say, I'm listening to, our parent, our mother has got to say, then we have to be there for them. We have to support that decision. And we're there for them if they make the wrong decision. Okay?
Which is what I agree with. I agree with you on that 1,000%.
Yeah. Regardless to what their decision is, whether they agree to the virus, jab, or whether they disagree with it, we are open to their decision. End of. No matter what we give a fuck about, no, it doesn't matter what we care about, it is their decision, and we have to make sure that we open ourselves to allow their decision and support that decision. Same as my children, they could turn around and go, fuck you, Dad, you haven't given a shit about us for 2 years. I got proof that I have, but I've got proof that I've tried to contact them for the last couple of years, but they haven't bothered responding. I've got proof of that. I'll show that to them. Whether they take that on board or not is down to them. That is their decision. But I will give that to them.
All I could say to you on that, Dan, is...
Go on, mate.
The only thing I could say to you on that is, it doesn't matter whether you can prove that you have tried to contact them or not. All that matters is, when they need you, is that you are there for them.
Well, as I say, I don't know if I've been there for them, if they've needed me or not, because of their you know, the intermittent, should we say, contact with me. If they want
Yes,
me,
and that's what I'm saying.
if they
That's
want
what
me,
I'm saying.
I'm there
So,
for them. If they say, "Dad,
what
I need you," and I get a ascension saying, "Dad, I need you," then I'm there for them. You know, if they message me
Yeah.
or whatever,
that's what I'm saying.
there for them.
That's what I'm saying to you. So to make it more clearer, what I'm trying to explain is, for instance, I don't know, you got a message on Facebook, and I don't know if it's a son or a daughter or whatever it is you've got.
Yeah.
But let's just assume it's a daughter, and she's messaged on Facebook saying, "Dad, you know, can we meet up? I need to speak to her, blah, blah, blah." All that matters is that you're there for your daughter, and doesn't matter what the problem is, that you help and so on. And that's just the way that I am. That's just the way that I see life.
I agree.
See, I'm not like most people. I see life black and white. You rather can, you can't, you do, you don't, you will, you won't. To me, there is no in between.
Yeah.
So that's just the way life is, mate.
No, I get it. I totally get it. And again, for the tribe,
Did your children know that you was in hospital?
I've told them. Whether they understand it or not, I don't know. Whether they understand how bad it, what the situation was.
I'm not trying to pry.
No, I get it.
What age group are they?
Listen, if I didn't want to say, I wouldn't say. Okay, but as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, they understand what the situation was. But I've not heard from them since. So.
Right. What age group are they? Are they young children or teens or mid-20s?
They're about 18.
18. So they're still pretty young then.
Well, young.
So they maybe don't realise how bad it actually was for you.
Maybe. I'm not going to say they don't understand how bad it was, because personally, if somebody told me somebody was seriously or potentially seriously as bad as I was, I would understand it. But maybe they didn't. Maybe that's me that's just being fucking a bit too fucking forgiveful, if you say. I've told my children how bad things were when I, at the point where 30 to 3 points, when I was between 30% and sort of 45% fucked. That's how I was at the time. If somebody turned around and said to somebody, "Yeah, I was fucked," I would expect them to think I was, between sort of 30 and 45% fucked, which I was. I've tried to be honest with people as much as I can be, and I've had a drink. Don't get me wrong, I'm fucked right now. I've had nearly a full bottle of fucking brandy, and I've had a full bottle of brandy, and fucked is I'm pissed out of my head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. This is why I say you maybe ought to have something to eat and good night to all you and everything.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to pretend I'm something I'm not. I'm fucked right now. Bottle of that's fucking empty. Bottle of fucking brandy. I'm fucked out of my head. End of. I'll be honest with you.
Like I say, Dan, I just wanted to ring to ask how you was personally, because you ask how everybody else is and nobody appears to ask how you are. So I thought, well, maybe it's about time somebody asked how you are. And that's the only reason I actually...
And I appreciate it, genuinely. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate somebody phoning and asking how I am personally. As I say,
look, Dan, It's like this, bud. My number's up on your screen. Write it down. If you ever need to chat, any shit whatsoever, you know, I'm more than welcome to ring you and have a chat anytime you like.
Yeah.
Now, I'm no psychologist or out like that. I'm just like you, a normal everyday nobody